What's going on, everybody? It is Monday, November 30th, 2020. I'm Brandon Toy, host of the Ranty with Brandon show. Hope everybody's doing good out there. Got some good stuff for you tonight. As promised in the thumbnail, we're going to talk about paid shill tactics. I finally found the document that I've been looking for a long time on psychological operations and psychological operation online tactics. We're going to go through that. You'll recognize them right off the bat. Probably start off with a hilarious community post by Critical Think. Give him a little attention that he was asking for. And then go into that stuff. We've got some people in the Discord already. I see quite a few in there, so we've got a good crowd to start off with. So this should be interesting. And we've got a lot of people in chat too. Let me say hello, SC Montreal. What's up, man? Helen Degenerates, SC Montreal. SC, you get 2 shout outs. Ian Adams, Mike Dornan. What's up, Mike? Skeptical Inquisitor on the level. Who says, where's shills? Well, look around, man. Belu Miller, Wanderer of the Zone. YouTube, Anthony Burrows, page 42. What's going on, guys? Hope everybody's doing good out there tonight. If you do want to support the show with a donation, there is a tip jar on Streamlabs, and I'll put the link in the chat and pin that to the top so you can easily find it. There's also some other options that are in the description on the video. The best way that you can support the show is by joining us on Discord, bringing your voice to the table, or showing us some observations, providing some information that we haven't seen before, some research, whatever. Just taking part in the chat, being here for the show. It's all good stuff. So appreciate everybody's support any way they support the show. All right. Well, without further ado, let me open up the Discord. Let's say hello to everybody and get into stuff.
Lines and little curvy things, is that supposed to be like symbols representing something else?
It's a if then. It's a logic. It's geomer logic. It's my logic. It's a mix of geometry and logic. So it says if A is parallel to B, then A is parallel to A and B is parallel to B. That's what it says. Nobody can disagree with it unless you've got a model.
Well, anyone can disagree with it if they want to.
Yeah.
You're saying no one can necessarily disprove it.
Well, no, it's logic, isn't it? So you can't have a parallel to intersect with a parallel. Like you can disagree if you want,
right?
But you
no, I understood what you were saying.
You wouldn't.
Pretty sure.
Well, you would.
You just can't do it logically. You can
model.
disagree, but not based on logic. You can disagree based on feeling or, things like that. You can't disagree based on logic.
Very true. Well, yeah, you can. They do disagree. That's why they're all going mad about it.
What's up, guys?
What up?
Hello.
What up?
Got a full Discord. Good to see you. Yeah, Bev, try thinking. What's up, Bev?
Afternoon.
Jimbo. Kitty Soft Paws.
How's it going?
Not bad. I love that name, man. It's hilarious. Mobius.
Hey.
Hey, what's up, man? Aaron, Patient Zero, who may or may not be working.
Brandon, what's going on?
What's up, man? Plague Zero.
Hey, Brandon, how you doing?
Good. I see Ranty Flat Earth. The real Ranty is in the Discord, but he is muted right now. Hopefully he'll come back in. I've got a community post from Critical Think that I think he'll enjoy if he does end up joining the show tonight. We'll take a look at it either way, but I thought it was pretty hilarious. It has to do with sunsets, which is right up his alley. We got Rob Keene. What's up, Rob?
You hear me?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Looking forward to a great show.
Cool,
and
man.
they're called glare sets if you have Ranty.
Yes, the glare set. Might be a good example of that. I'm not sure. Bob Dole.
Hello.
What's up, man? All right. So, if
up is up.
Yes. Well, no,
I know
no.
that's a very hard stance. That's very opposition stance I'm taking here. But I'm going to declare definitively up is up and down is down, and you can just deal with it.
You're going way out on a limb, man. Way out. If you guys saw the thumbnail to tonight's show, I have found this document. I saw it a few years back, and I've been looking for it off and on ever since then, but it basically describes the tactics used by online paid trolls. So some of you may have seen this before, but it's from a site called cryptome.org. And these are people that collect leaks from the government documents, interesting stuff that doesn't hit the media. Let me share my screen and you can see what I'm talking about. Classified stuff, other stuff like that. And they write articles and do all kinds of stuff. Pretty interesting website. But they've got this page and it's called, I can't see. The Gentle Person's Guide to Forum Spies, Spooks, Feds, etc. So it's not necessarily about flat earth paid trolls. And I'm not here making a statement that there are or aren't paid trolls in the flat earth community on either side, or that, that the trolls that we encounter or all the ballers are trolls or exhibit all of these, what shall we call them? Techniques, tactics, etc. But I think once we get into it, you will recognize a lot of this and be able to come up with examples off the top of your head for these tactics. So I thought this would be good to go through, if this sounds interesting to you guys or not, and walk through each one of these techniques. There's a whole bunch of other stuff on here, and just discuss each of them.
Yeah, no, I think like because you could, at least for me anyway, it's like crystal clear when they're doing it, right? Crystal, and I'm just like, okay, look what you're doing. And for other people, though, I feel like they just keep going into the conversation with them. Like, do you not see that they're just dragging you in? So yeah, to identify what they're doing, and very big.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully there was a comment I made a couple weeks ago, and I said, new people that are new to the flat earth or new to this community shouldn't listen to what ballers say. And some people took that as new flat earthers shouldn't talk to globe believers or ballers. That's not what I meant. What I meant was when you have to be very careful in taking what they say to heart. You have to be careful for some of these tactics and these techniques that we're going to go through today, because you will encounter them and they are masters at it. We've talked about ridicule before. They definitely use ridicule as one of their most effective weapons for making people feel like shit and leave the community. So that's what I meant when I said that. I thought I was clear at the time. But this will help maybe some of the new flat earthers or people new to the community understand, what happens out there, what kind of psychological tactics are used by actual paid shills. This isn't hypothetical. This isn't theoretical. This isn't something that I made up or somebody else made up. This is from actual documents and actual online paid shills. This is taken from source documents. So there are these organizations within every country, every major country, I would say, probably damn near every country has people that focus on influencing things in their interests, whatever that may mean. Also, special interest groups. Remember during the 2016 election, there was something called Share Blue that flooded the internet with paid shills for supporting Hillary Clinton. So it's a very common thing in politics. It's a very common thing for corporations to have departments or, of who knows how many people. I've personally been in one or two of these departments who go out and any mention of any of their products or whatever, they respond to it officially or unofficially as a spokesperson for that corporation. I would bet my life that pharmaceutical companies and other controversial companies have these operations where they go out and try to influence public opinion. It's just common sense.
Advertising, really, almost.
Yeah, some of it is advertised. Some of it's straight up advertising. Some of it's damage control for the government. Some of it is, well, we've got this group of people who, you know, if they get the ball rolling, they might, you know, be dangerous and, you know, endanger our interests in XYZ, or they might convince people of whatever. And they want to try to stem that early. There's also federal operations that get involved and try to identify radicals who are going to be violent. So some of it is, you know, it can be legitimate activity. It's not all, you know, psychological manipulation. Some of it is, hey, we're going to go out there and find out people who are talking about, you know, doing major crimes, violent crimes. So anyway, so that's what this is. We'll go through it. If you guys hear something that trigger something in your head, or you have an example of one of these, even in our own chat or on a video that you saw or anything, we can take a look at the example. Even if you just remember it or you have an example, just pipe up. And if you have anything to say, we'll discuss it, because I don't want to spend the whole time reading it. If I had more time, I would have went through and found examples, but I didn't. All right, so let's start off. Hopefully you guys in the audience can read this. I'll be reading it anyway. Let me see if I can make it a little bigger. You should see it in the Discord, yeah? Let me make it bigger. There we go. You guys see it in there?
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, cool. All right, so this is the Gentle Person's Guide to Forum Spies. Let me take this link and I'll shoot it to you guys if you want to look through it yourself. Probably should have thought of that to begin with. And I'll put it in the chat as well if anybody in the audience wants to take a look at it or save the link. I downloaded a PDF of it myself, and there's some interesting documents at the top too, that are actual presentations on different GCHQ, cyber effects, online deception, operational playbook, squeaky dolphin, psychological operations, OSS sabotage of all kinds of stuff. This was an old one, but it was pretty interesting. All right, so you got that. All right, COINTELPRO techniques for dilution, misdirection, and control of an internet forum. There are several techniques for the control and manipulation of an internet forum, no matter what or who is on it. We'll go over each technique and demonstrate that only a minimal number of operatives can be used to eventually and effectively gain control of an uncontrolled forum. Technique 1, forum sliding. If a very sensitive posting of a critical nature has been posted on a forum, it can be quickly removed from public view by forum sliding. In this technique, a number of unrelated posts are quietly prepositioned on the forum and allowed to age. Each of these misdirectional forum postings can then be called upon at will to trigger a forum slide. The second requirement is that several fake accounts exist, which can be called upon to ensure that this technique is not exposed to the public to trigger a forum slide and flush the critical post out of public view. It's simply a matter of logging into each account, both real and fake, and then replying to a pre-positioned posting with a simple 1 or 2 line comment. This brings the unrelated postings to the top of the forum, and the critical posting slides down the front page and quickly out of public view. Although it is difficult or impossible to censor the posting, it is now lost. So essentially, if somebody posts, say, a classified document or something that they don't want to be seen, or a really good argument, even it could be, then they can just flood the forum with bullshit so that nobody ever sees the good content.
Example, remember I stopped, man, this is so funny. I was working on this. The commandments, right? They shall always have the last word, right? So they always want their whatever a ball or whatever from their agency to be the last post, right? So like if you just open up a Discord, or if you just open up something that has rolling conversations, they will always fill the last spots, right? So that when you open it up, you'll see their stuff. They won't leave like a flat Earth meme. They'll put their meme or keep talking till it pushes it past.
Yeah, you see that in our Discord every single time. You can see it right now, right this instant, if I pull it over.
Yep.
If I go to each of these channels, look, General, the last post is a Glober. Now a second Glober has posted. Gossip is a Glober, the last post. You go to, what's this one? Coriolis, WS is the last one to post, so Glober. Sunsets. Flat Earth Bane is the last one. I mean, I've noticed this for a long time. Gently's channel, Refraction.
Perfect example. And this is in a flat Earth server. These are rooms that we never really even go into. So they're just, bro. That's perfect example.
The only one that I found so far is Space. 1 out of 7 of our channels, a Glober has the last post. 1 out of 8. Okay, we've got 2 out of 8. 2 out of 9. We have the last word in. 2 out of 10. This is ridiculous. And it's like this any time of day.
Try and find anything with any content in any of those things as well. There's nothing. It's just ad homs and personal attacks. You don't understand.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we'll definitely get to that because that's another one of the techniques. But yeah, it's just back and forth, ganging up, and you'll see this document covers all that stuff. But this is classic forum sliding, in my opinion. And Bev, that might be another example of how they slide the forum, is just posting bullshit after somebody posts something of substance. So what do you think a new flat earther sees when they come to this channel, this Discord?
Yeah, well, that's what we
baller stuff.
We went through this on Emma UK the other day. Purposely, this is what new people see, and this is all they see when they come in. And I think these people know it. The trolls do this on purpose for that very reason, so that anybody new just thinks it's a nightmare. You never get to find out any information from anything. You just see all of this nothingness. It's just childish bickering to me.
Yep. Does this happen on Emma's channel too?
Well, it did, but we've done away with it. We're sort of making it a little bit more exclusive. It's much better for the conversation, within us lot. But I mean, a lot of people like that drama, don't they? It's a hard balance. But I mean, nobody needs this death threats and you don't understand and you lot are stupid. You don't even know what level means and all of that. After a year, it's like the Nathan Oakley stuff with the Coriolis. It's old. It's been done. There's no argument there. To keep going over this rubbish means it doesn't get us anywhere. So that was our mission, was to get rid of it. But also, there's a lot of people that come into this that don't want to talk. They don't want to have to deal with that just bullshit.
Bev?
Yeah.
Level horizontal?
Yeah.
Are you still talking about it?
Well, yeah, but that's not all we talk about.
I love you, Bev. I love you, Bev. But I also love Nathan Oakley.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. Like, it's the argument that we have at the minute is whether a straight line is straight and whether level is horizontal. It's a rubbish argument. There's no point us having it.
I love you, Bev. You're the greatest.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. When do we evolve past this point of going over the same basic shit every single time, and anything that you say that's not even the slightest bit controversial? You don't have to say every idiot knows the Earth's flat in order to get a response that's like a team of them, of 2 or 3 of them, if not more, just throwing bullshit at you until you quit.
So bad, just with these 2 lines together, driving them nuts.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It was like Paige was saying the other day. She came in and she said it doesn't matter what time she can post anything. It doesn't matter. And it guaranteed within a second or 2 seconds, somebody's typing. There's somebody there to just get on at you all the time. And I don't know. It's just not worth your time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
when I first got into Flat Earth, I used to get really caught up into arguing everything with these guys, you know, and that's another reason I told new Flat Earthers is don't take what ballers say to heart, because they will try to make you feel like crap, and they will keep coming at you until you quit. That's part of the forum sliding. Like Right Hand said, you will quit before they'll quit. They will never let you have the last word. Very rarely,
There's a lot more of them than there is of you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and they've got a 24-hour operation going on, too. So
that's why I make sure and tell them I ain't going nowhere,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what they do. And I will fund anyone who wants to be funded, and this ain't going away. They need to get used to it, start accommodating us, or they're going to get it. They're going to get the wrath right back.
That's right, Dave.
yeah, good point. All right, let's move on to the next one. Consensus cracking. A second highly effective technique is consensus cracking. To develop a consensus crack, the following technique is used. Under the guise of a fake account, a posting is made which looks legitimate and is towards the truth is made, but the critical point is that it has a very weak premise without substantive proof to back the posting. Once this is done, then under alternative fake accounts, a very strong position in your favor is slowly introduced over the life of the posting. It is imperative that both sides are initially presented so the uninformed reader can determine which side is the truth. As postings and replies are made, the stronger evidence or disinformation in your favor is slowly seeded in. Thus, the uninformed reader will most likely develop the same position as you, and if their position is against you, their opposition to your posting will most likely be dropped. However, in some cases where the forum members are highly educated and can counter your disinformation with real facts and linked postings, you can then abort the consensus cracking by initiating a forum slide. I think that last part is the most important takeaway from this one. So I'm not sure I see this too much, but maybe other people have examples of this where we have supposed flat earthers posting weak arguments and just getting dogpiled. It is very important that when you are making your case publicly, to have your facts, to have stuff at your fingertips to post. If you're going to make an argument, you should make it with a good argument, fact-based argument with some kind of evidence. That's about all that I have to say about that one. Anybody have any other thoughts on that? No?
Yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one, that, isn't it?
Yeah. All right, we'll move on then. Topic 3, topic dilution. Topic dilution is not only effective in forum sliding, it's also very useful in keeping the forum readers on unrelated and non-productive issues. This is a critical and useful technique to cause a resource burn. By implementing continual and non-related postings that distract and disrupt trolling, the forum readers, they are more effectively stopped from anything of any real productivity. It's the intensity of gradual dilution is intense enough the readers will effectively stop researching and simply slip into a gossip mode. In this state, they can be more easily misdirected away from facts towards uninformed conjecture and opinion. The less informed they are, the more effective and easy it becomes to control the entire group in the direction that you would desire the group to go in. It must be stressed that a proper assessment of the psychological capabilities and levels of education is first determined of the group to determine what level to drive in the wedge. Being too far off topic too quickly, it may trigger censorship by a forum moderator. That's kind of what we were just talking about. You know,
I dealt with this. I was talking after one of these idiots, and the one of these lackeys, these professional ballers, and I'm trying to again, I'm not going to give it too much, but you're just like, hey, what's with this? And then they just totally avoided that and was like, well, what is air made of? I'm like, Well, we're talking about because you see half a lighthouse, the Earth is curved, and then it was just like, what is air made of? Like, what are you switching topics for, right? So it's trying to draw you into a new debate, new conversation, new topic, and they keep doing it over and over until you're just like, what the fuck?
They do it with the team debate as well. I mean, that's one of the tactics they use when there's more than 2 or 3 of them. They will purposely pull you off one topic and into another one. That the sort of...
Oh, for sure. I see this happening a lot to Write the Hand too. That was a great example where Write the Hand doesn't even believe in wind is a thing, or they'll say something stupid like that, some little quippy insult, and then you go off and be like, no, or they'll say something like, just something to kind of shift the conversation to put you on the defensive, to make you then spend time defending this something that wasn't even a part of the argument.
Yep, man. That's why I don't even bother really engaging them anymore, because this is what they do. All this stuff they do talking about.
Oh yeah, for sure. Information collection. Information collection is also a very effective method to determine the psychological level of the forum members and to gather intelligence that can be used against them. In this technique, in a light and positive environment, a show you mine, so me yours posting is initiative. I think this applies more to trying to weed out people who are into illegal activities, because they're talking about posting, here's my illegal guns, and post you pictures of your illegal guns. I'm not sure this one applies so much to I don't know how much people are out there trying to collect information about us.
Oh yes.
You think they are?
They save all sorts. Oh yeah. They have tweets that they've saved for years. There's stuff going on about chemo that they post on Twitter from a screenshot from over 5-6 years ago. That they hold all of this information. You should have Emma here. Yeah, they've got files on Emma.
They're like jilted lovers. They've been wronged.
Yeah.
You left me. You left my ball.
Save old Christmas and birthday cards that you've said, of comments that you've said. I mean, they've got one from me that I said flat and level horizon in a tweet a year and a half ago now, and they keep showing me that. Yeah, they do. They compile all sorts of stuff. They'll even get you into a conversation that you won't even understand. It's just so that they can take a picture of something that you said, and they'll hold it over you months later. Definitely something that they do.
Yeah, I would say about this, be careful what you say in these forums, for sure, especially when it comes to personal information. Anything about your family, where you work, don't do anything stupid like that. Most people know that, but that's a good reminder. I've got another example of how they hold stuff against.
Real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I was arguing with WS the other day, and he said, well, you said XYZ. I said, what are you talking about? I'm looking back through our conversation. I'm like, I did not say that. He pulls up this screenshot from who knows how many fucking months ago. I'm like, what is your problem? Who screenshots in the hope that you can just jump to a file and go, gotcha?
He's got a folder for you, bro.
Yeah, they do.
These guys are insane.
Yeah, that is pretty creepy. GPS has been bugging me it's probably been a couple years, because I said triangulation. GPS uses triangulation instead of trilateration. And I said, oh, okay, fine, you got me. I said triangulation instead of trilateration. Now, because of that, he says, you told me you knew about GPS and you had looked into it. You're a liar. So he's been calling me a liar for 2 years because I said triangulation instead of trilateration.
That's what just GPS does. It doesn't really matter what you say. GPS just calls you a liar. And no doubt that he does that to absolutely everyone.
It's called gaslighting. There are movies made about this shit, and it's very real, and it has its effect on some people. Not everyone, but it certainly is grueling on people that are going through it. It is no freaking fun. It's hard on people. It shouldn't be tolerated.
Yeah, that's a good point, Jimbo. Okay, anger trolling. Statistically, there's always a percentage of the forum posters who are more inclined to violence. In order to determine who these individuals are, it is a requirement to present an image to the forum to deliberately incite a strong psychological reaction. So I'm not going to read too much more about this one. I don't know that this applies to us. Anybody out there trying to...
It does. I hear people pushing that, Muslim, all this and ethnic stuff all the time. So no, it does apply here too. Everything applies here. Literally, the whole smorgasbord. Anything to deter from the truth, the search for the truth, flat earth, everything is thrown into this breadbasket.
The biggest folder stored in a computer is Bev. Bev have a big folder on Slice Parkane, another for Fight the Flat Earth, and many more. Prove me wrong.
Come on.
He just came in to say that.
That's a bit of a paranoia moment right there.
You can see the shills. Well, we'll try and find out why would a shill do that? Because somebody sent Jose in to say that, right?
Distraction. Don't lose focus.
Somebody paid Jose a lot of money to come in and.
They just banned me from gyms.
What for?
You? Of course.
Yeah, they banned me for posting the death threats that they posted in the chat today. I posted them, took screenshots and reposted them in their chat, and they banned me.
For reposting the death threats.
Yep. They just banned me like 20 seconds ago, 30 seconds ago.
Well, we're just talking about anger trolling, Dave. Why don't you tell us about these death threats?
Yeah, it's amazing. All they do is call you a liar. They try and make people, the audience think that you're the dumb one, you're the liar, when really, in actuality, they're just projecting onto you. But they try and get you riled up and get your mind off of things. They don't like when the barrel's turned upside down on them. I had a guy the other day calling me and Jose and everyone who's like a layman or a Christian, the bottom of the barrel, and all the physicists and smart people are the top of the barrel. And that's just their tactic. And that's what you're all talking about tonight. It's all about tactics because their argument they know is, not good.
Yep. All right. So that's that one. So be careful. Somebody might be trying to rile you up. Gaining full control. It's important to also be harvesting and continually maneuvering for a forum moderator position. Once this position is obtained, the forum can be effectively and quietly be controlled by deleting unfavorable postings. I have seen this personally happen in controversial forums on Reddit where somebody will be trusted as a mod and eventually move up and take the forum over, either actually sell the forum, control of the forum to a third party, or completely change it, shut it down, give it away. This does happen. Be careful who you trust. In our forum online, there's a log so we can see what's going on. And I do check that. I don't know if anybody else checks that, but I check that on a regular basis just to see what's happening in there. But definitely happens. We had on this channel, Ranty Flat Earth channel, used to have everybody as mods, and somebody was out there blocking everybody. It had like 600 people blocked. Randy probably knows the numbers if he's listening, but like 600 people blocked. So that's why there's pretty much no mods now. Myself and temporary mods if they need to post a link. That's it. Because you got to be really careful. All right, so that's the 6 techniques. Now this is where it really gets interesting, in my opinion. The 25 rules of disinformation. But before we go into that, Ranty, are you there? Are you up for talking? We've got something from Critical Think you might like.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, cool, man. Okay. So, Travis, you sent this to me earlier. This Critical Think community post. It's got to do with sunsets. That's why I wanted to show it to you. Let me make sure that I'm.
Can I touch onto the mods before you move away, really quick? Mods on channels.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
That was my experience here because I haven't had any issue personally with Ranty. Like personally now, I had an issue with some things he did with his format, but it is what it is, right? He had issues with what I do too, right? But when there were certain mods, they were blocking a lot of people, and he fixed that after everybody was a mod, and he took every mod away, and he let one or two that were cool, but then he kind of happened again, and I complained, and a lot of people when Bob Super Noodle Doodle 15 degrees kind of did it again, and he was blocking people. I haven't seen him back. That's why I subscribe back, and I'm being kind of coming in on and off. But that's the thing, one mod can destroy the whole thing. Maybe from your point of view, not, because he agrees with you. You are in the same boat on ideas, and you kind of collaborate with each other. But for certain group of people, like the ballers in here, they were suffering because they wanted to come in and have fun in the chat, and that one person was not allowing us to do that. So thank you for, I don't know what you did. If he might steal a mod, maybe you talk to him. But thank you for letting us trolling the chat, and you got all the right. It's your channel to do whatever you got to do with us. Is your discretion on who's been respectful or not. So that's all I wanted to say, and I'm out.
All right, good comment. Appreciate that, Jose. All right, so here is the post from Critical Think. He says, my best picture of the sun below eye level. Impossible on a flat plane model. Calling all flatties to nominate your favorite excuse for denying observable reality. Brandon Toy, are you really seeking the truth? Phuket word, you know this cannot be perspective. The plain truth. Explain how refraction can be the cause. Tangential level to my observation point is above the sun. How about that? So, Travis, you sent this to me. What do you think about this picture? This is an interesting sunset, by the way. I was looking at that earlier. What were your thoughts when you saw this? There, Travis? All right, we'll come back to you. This sunset is interesting, though. You can see the refraction in this picture here. But I think his whole thing hinges on the fact that this line right here is above the sun. Is that how you guys understand what he said?
Can I just come in and
That's what it seems
give
like.
you a geometrical wording that he's put? He's put tangential level. Do you know what a tangent is?
Yeah, it's a straight line that touches a circle at a point, right?
Right. Okie dokie. So
a line that shoots off the tangent line.
What's a tangent level then? Because that's an even altitude. Now, even altitude means it's not touching anything. There's no circle there for it to touch. So can't technically even be a tangent. The tangent is a wizard word, right? It's just a straight line. It's a level line. It's not a tangent because there's no circle. By saying tangent, he's conjuring up a circle underneath a straight line that's your view. It doesn't even look level either. So I don't know.
And as far as that word refraction, I think of a pencil in a glass of water and the bending. I just need to know what's like a pencil in the water bending here that you're calling refraction.
Well, I'm talking about, I guess I see I use the word loosely. I see a mirage here with some doubling for sure.
Yeah, mirroring, if you will.
Yeah, mirror. Yeah.
And there's
and
some
it's
flattening.
inverted. It's an opposite mirror, kind of, on the water. The
I feel like that's almost
tip of the
better.
trees are forward to us, kind of.
Yeah. Then you can see this one doubles like right about here and goes off, mirrors down here.
Well, let's not forget the most recent stuff that's come out last week. the guy that did the experiment with the warehouse, and he was able to make the light completely disappear from being visible to being sunk. And the same phenomena happened. You got an inferior mirage. Now, it's interesting that we get, this idea's popped into my head that maybe when we see the inferior mirage, we are encountering it sinking at the same time as well. And that would also explain a lot. It's something I've talked about in the past, because when you actually see shore to shore, you don't get the inferior mirage. You have a very clear day. So it's quite possible that what we are seeing here is just sinking. It's just that atmospheric effect of the light and the glare from the sun just setting.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought too. And Gleam said, that's not the sun, it's the apparent sun. The real sun already set 5 minutes ago, which is a definite possibility. As you have said before, Ranty, this might just be sun glare, right?
Yeah, because the sun is really only moving backward and away. So that's glare. That's as it moves away, there's more atmosphere to pass through, and the thickness of the atmosphere, as you ascend, is slightly different, and it seems to pull the sun into the color of the nights.
That's why the sun appears to be so close in some of our photographs. It's not the actual sun. The actual sun, it's much, much further away. It's not 93 million miles away, but it's much further away, right?
And we're seeing the last of its glare being stretched along the horizon and fading into night colors.
Can I just jump in here for just a second? We've got Toady in the chat. Now, if you guys remember and you go back 2 years ago when flat earthers, for the most part, refused to talk about refraction, in fact, ignored it for the most part, we have Toady in the chat right now saying, here we go, all the excuses. Refraction, mirroring, distortion. Literally like what these guys were doing 2 years ago, until we looked into it and we explored it and we understood it and realized that actually all that time they were telling us that it's refraction causing looming. Actually, no, it's the other way around. It's the refraction causing sinking. And now they're whining about it.
Well, what's Toadie's? I read Toadie's comment, and he says, here we go, all excuses, refraction, mirroring, distortion, nonsense about warehouse floors. They have nowhere to go with this. Is he trying to say that these aren't actual phenomena that impact what we see, especially in the distance? I mean, come on, Tony. Of course, these things are impact. We can see it. We can see the mirage. We know that the atmosphere is having an impact on this image. This sun, if it's setting, is probably about 6,000 miles away from the viewer. That's
we know that the
atmosphere.
air.
Which tactic would this be? Which tactic is he doing right now? Right?
The air could be optically pure, but it's not. It's an optically active substance.
Wouldn't that be like? What was the one right after Forum Slide, or right after that? Because he's getting away from the point, but slowly, right? So instead of talking about the observation of half the lighthouse, right? It's moved on to refraction. Then refraction moves on to the, you know what I mean? Like they pull that third tactic, I think.
Good point. Yeah. Topic dilution.
Can I just pull you back then to exactly that point? See that line that goes up and down and across the screen?
Yep.
It's like a crosshair. It's a sighted hair that actually is. That's exactly the same crosshair scope that Slice Arcane has, with that little V on it. My one doesn't have that. It's a different type of scope. But that means it's 32 times scope only. That's as much as you can get through one of those scopes. You can't get a higher magnification, 32 times. I don't think you can get that picture. But on top of that, see the line that's going up and down the screen? It's vertical. It doesn't look quite right. That's because it isn't. It's not vertical. But, which makes the horizontal hair not horizontal either, because the vertical. But you'd expect the horizon to be parallel to the horizontal, wouldn't you? It's not in that picture.
Good point. It's all skewed.
It doesn't look right because it isn't right. The vertical and the horizontal don't work with that picture. That's a fake picture.
Well, and also, look how we know that line is off kilter because we're comparing it to the horizon, right? The horizon is the straight line that we can use to look at that line on the bottom that uses how long the video is. That's as straight as the horizon.
Yeah,
that's that you could compare that off kilter, the vertical, and make, oh yeah, it's off kilter, just like the horizon.
It would have been exposed more with my crosshair because I have a full horizontal. That one has a split horizontal with a point, so it doesn't look quite right on the other side. But if that horizontal went all the way across the screen, it wouldn't be parallel with the horizon.
Aren't they always saying these pictures are too blurry to count on, to trust? They're always saying that, and here they give us a nice blurry picture.
Yeah, they do always say that.
Wait,
right.
wouldn't this would be tactic 4, right? They've introduced a fake. What was the one where they introduced something and then if it doesn't go,
truth.
Yeah, so this is their. If we're gonna call them out, and this will just get buried into the. They'll just like, oh, we never said that.
The actual facts of the picture are that they've given us a fake picture there.
Yeah, it's just a nonsense argument from his point of view. I mean, this crosshair that is pointing at the top of the sun, and he's claiming that it's level, right? I don't know.
It's not level. So
silly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I thought that was utterly ridiculous on Critical Think's point. I'm sure. There you go, Critical. You got something to make a video about now.
Well, you got another troll. Planar Logic 2 days ago did a big old whatever anti-flat Earth shit. So they're busy at it.
Well, I just posted a link in the general chat. It's if you want to go to 1 hour and 8 minutes and 15 seconds there, Brandon. That's last week's show. That's where we had the guy come on and show us the syncing effect of the flashlight that he had when he opened when he opened the door, and now you see the light, now you don't. Guess what? We can make things sync.
Yeah, let's play this once. It'll be a good reminder for people who didn't see it too. So here he is. He's going to open the door, introduce the cold air. It's pretty cold outside, like 0 degrees Fahrenheit. Room temperature inside. You can see that the light is no longer visible. The neon lights, I don't think you can see those lights either. You can't see any of the light that was there previously. Closes the door. You can see the ripple effect from the introduction of the cold air.
It doesn't have to be that the air was cold. It could just be that it moved the air, and that motion created a different, since I don't know, that's what I'm thinking. It looked like it, because it's just moving and then it was still and you could see it. It was moving, you couldn't see it, and then when it stopped moving and settled down, you could see it. So maybe the temperature doesn't really have too much to do with the stirring of the air.
Well, it can be thermal and, a little more humid outside than inside, or vice versa. Like when you take a shower and open the door to the hallway or whatever. Usually heavy air sinks and hotter, warmer air rises. So my guess is a cooler air was being drawn in from the outside, sweeping across the floor.
Yeah, but even when that happens, I don't see any uniformity in the medium. It's all going to get mixed together. So I just don't think that there could be a clinical analysis of these kinds of observations outside of just describing what we're seeing.
Well, you could actually pour a bunch of water on the floor, and as it evaporates, check the results without opening the door and stuff.
No, I get that, and what I would say is you're just now introducing a dynamic, right? You're introducing motion, you're introducing movement. I'm saying I don't think you can get more clinical than just saying that. Like, you're not going to be able to break it down and go, oh, look here, the light just blinked out, and then you're going to tell me what you think is happening at that little point? No.
Yeah, well, on that scale or a bigger scale on a lake, it's the same thing. Something blinks out, you're at that same position. Why did it blink out?
Yeah, that's his
Yeah.
point.
Turns into speculation
It's all-
about what in the atmosphere and lighting is causing that effect.
Yeah, that's his point. It's all speculation on the person who's doing the observation.
I do see a phenomenon that I would call sinking. I mean, I don't know what's causing it, but from what I see just visually, if you look at these black lines, I don't know that I noticed this too much last week. Watch them when the door opens and closes, especially these bottom two black lines on this board that's, I think it's right next to the neon lights, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, if you look at the 70 and I think it's the 70 and the 80 marker on the left-hand side, or is it the 70 and 90? I can't read it from here, but yeah, those those two black lines at the bottom are perfectly in line. And then as soon as the door goes up, you'll see that the back one, I think it's either, is it the 80 or the 90? I can't read it.
I think it's 90.
It's one of the
Yeah,
two.
90.
90. That one definitely drops below the 71. So that's showing, because I looked at this last week, because somebody else, I think it was Rumpus, came in and said, oh no, it's just the inferior mirage that's hiding the light. And I said, well, no, that's not the case, because the 90 is dropping below the 70, and that's actually proving sinking. And he didn't like that.
Well, I'm guessing when the door is open, the only thing coming in is the air, basically. The extra light isn't causing that phenomena or anything like that.
You could perhaps enlarge that onto YouTube, because it's on a small screen at the minute. There, Brandon.
It looked great on YouTube. This.
I don't think it'll share it in the Discord, but okay. Is it still sharing?
No, I mean if you maximize it, the screen.
Yeah, no, I maximized it.
It is.
Ah, right, okay.
It looks real good on the YouTube, high res, clear as a bell.
Yeah, this is pretty interesting. That light definitely completely disappears. I don't know. Was this during nighttime or daytime? I think it's nighttime, right, Pete? I thought I heard Pete in here. Maybe that was Global Virus Phone.
Well, the most important thing here is to realize that everything that's flying, whether it be a plane, a bird, the sun, the stars, when they go to a certain distance, they all drop. They all physically drop. And it's not that they're going around any kind of curve or anything. It's just down to perspective. They will lower in the field of view. Doesn't matter how far away, eventually they will appear at the horizon. Everything will end up there.
But not physically dropping. This is where, like, I was talking, not what it is, but about the mountain. The mountain's not physically dropping below you, right? It's just appears that way. It's a visual phenomenon, not a physical phenomenon.
Yeah, and I'd just like to say, when he opens the garage door, at this point, it is night, and it seems like there's snow on the ground, which would make it very cold outside compared to his inside. And cold air sinks and runs along the floor.
I think it's pretty interesting how far he has to lift the camera up too before that light comes back into view. So the light's still on. It's not like the light got turned off or anything.
No, but if you also look, you'll see that there is some kind of reflection off the floor after the light has dissipated. But prior to that, we don't have one. We don't have any kind of inferior mirage type effect, even though it isn't an inferior mirage. I don't think. Shows, guys. I think I'd have to rewatch it again to get a proper understanding of it all. But I believe beforehand you don't see a reflection. Yeah, there you go. So you're not seeing a reflection beforehand. You're only getting a reflection after he's lifted the door up.
Yeah, this is a good observation. Actually, Pete messaged me earlier and told me he had a new observation for me with the lights off, I believe he said. So we'll have to take a look at that.
Yeah, it's the same scenario that's on this one with the lights on, but it was just lights off. Same day.
I forgot you changed your name to Pebble in the Pond. That's why I didn't see you.
Shout out to Belu Miner. Oh, sorry, Belu Miller.
Do you want to share it right now? I mean, we can go over it. Might as well, since we just looked at this one.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have it up. If you have it up, I'm happy to let you present it. Otherwise, I'll bring it up from my email.
The problem you have with that test with the door opening and closing is that the objects do not drop from their height. Something is going on in the bottom, but the object is not dropping from the height that it will keep the height.
Isn't that what we've always said, though?
Well, but there are some issues then, because in some observations, depending on the object, how far away, it appears lower than it should be, a lot lower. And with this test, it's showing that there's an effect going in the bottom of the object that is, you're not going to see the bottom, but the height will continue being the same in this one.
Thank
But
you,
in real
Birzilla.
life,
You're the
in
man.
some examples, that height will drop below that where
And
you
Bilu Miller.
should
Thanks a lot,
expect
man.
to see.
Thanks, guys.
We're talking
Yeah.
about hundreds of feet, not miles.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, Jose.
You know, if you push that,
Exactly. No. That's fair. This is a few hundred feet and a few miles in real life. That's what I mean. That one doesn't represent. One is not like the other, because in real life the objects drop in real life, but in this test that is short, it doesn't. So you cannot equate this to real life.
Well, yeah,
Yes,
you
you
can,
can.
because what you're looking at with the obstruction at the bottom of the original, the furthest one, you're seeing that the height of the building hasn't changed, but the bottom has merged into the floor. Essentially, it's disappeared. It's vanished from the bottom up. Now, we've seen that many times on many different buildings, and on different days when we see shore to shore, we're just told that it's being loomed up. Well, no.
It's refraction. Yeah, very well understood.
Yeah.
Refraction. Yeah.
Prior to this, let's just suppose prior to lifting the door up, we're going to say that that's just a nice day with nice weather conditions where you can just see shore to shore. Then on every 9 out of 10 days when you go down to the beach, you get all this weird stuff going on that affects the bottom of the objects that you're trying to see. And we get told that's hiding behind Earth curve. We've always said, well, we haven't always said, but I think we're all starting to see the effects of refraction now and what it can actually do. And Jose, you pointed out perfectly that the top isn't moving. The top isn't being pulled down, but that's because that isn't in the affected area. Now, this is exactly what I've been saying with... I can't believe how many times I've been saying this, that the top of the object appears to be perfectly the same. Nothing's changing. The actual size of everything, you can snip out the top of this and you can compare it to that, and it's exactly the same. But the bottom of it is all being compressed. Now, this is something I was talking about 2 years ago, and now we're starting to see it. Now we're starting to see people taking this research a little bit further and demonstrating it. And you've clearly agreed with us by saying that the top hasn't moved.
Yeah. That's not always the case, though. Sometimes the top does move. Sometimes you would have both of these effects at the same time or at different distances. And Ranty, wouldn't you agree that the floor in this case, if it was water, the water would be appearing to rise up in conversion with the bottom of the object? That's what I see. Like at that line, the water or the floor is rising up and the light is being squished down in their conversion with each other.
Well, the one thing I would say is that if you was to put that back marker probably 3 times further away across a flat surface with the same effect going on, that all of those individual lines that are marked out would probably just be one blur, just one black blur. They'd all blur together, and you would say, oh, look how much is missing. We're only seeing one black part. Well, no, you're seeing more. It's just that they are being sunk into each other, compressed, and you feel that they are being sunk, that they are being hidden by something, but they're not.
Agree, the further ones away would disappear more or be obstructed more, right? Because
of course they would. And eventually what would happen is the top of the, like Jose said, the top of that back one isn't affected. But if you push it back far enough, if you push it back 3 or 4 times as far away, then it will fall into that area that's being affected. So it will have,
would be affected then.
Yes. Then it would have the effect of it, and then it would sink. Then it would, in fact, you could actually make it disappear, I believe. I believe if you had a long enough floor with the same conditions, you could definitely make something sink out of your visual. Go on, Jose.
All of those extras that you added at the end is if, and I imagine, but not in concrete.
It means we haven't done it yet, but you can see you've done enough yourself that if you move that distance further back, then the effects are going to be greater. Wouldn't you agree, Jose? It's a if now because it hasn't.
No,
been
really,
done yet.
no, yeah, no. I don't put these thought experiments in my mind because I thought one thing back in the day. I was confused, and now I see it in a different way. So no, I cannot put this. Like, I cannot speculate
Well,
and
if you
put
want to
this
wait,
imagine.
that's fine. But we all see it. We all see how it can happen, and we're going to test it. That's fine.
That's good. The testing is good, but until it's getting tested, it's just speculations. It could go either way.
Okay, so you say you're seeing this in a different way. What do you see as a globe earther? What's your what would you say that you're seeing here when this is going on? What would you say is happening?
No, there's nothing special going on. This is expected as the exchange of very cold versus very, very hot, very near the surface is going to create some kind of optical phenomena, of atmospheric phenomena in small scale, but doesn't necessarily represent reality.
Yeah, but you just said very cold and very hot, but we don't have those measured. Like, what does very hot mean, Jose?
Very hot.
Yeah, right. So
not too cold.
Okay, hold on.
Very hot is not too cold.
those numbers
Hold on,
to
just real quick. Hold on, just real quick. So before the door is open, it's very hot inside.
It is not very cold. I guess it's hot, right?
And
Right. Yeah,
Jose,
I'm just trying to point out the fact that that's not.
I'm using the data that was given to me. That it was just
What
inside
data was
some kind of
that?
warehouse, and it was cold outside. I'm using the data that you guys provided.
Jose, are you also saying this doesn't represent reality?
It looked pretty real
in a
to
small
me.
scale. In a small scale, yeah, it does. I mean, in this type of test, yeah. I mean, it
But
is
how
reality
can it?
in a small
It
scale.
is reality. So how can it not
It is.
be
Yeah.
representing reality?
Yeah, I misspoke, and I shouldn't say this in a small scale is perfectly fine. But you cannot now jump to the conclusion that this is happening in the big scale in miles of a distance instead of 100.
So you're saying that this isn't scalable?
No, I say it doesn't necessarily have to happen. It might happen,
So you're saying
but until it's done.
You're saying it's not scalable.
No, I didn't say that. I just repeated for the second time what I say. So maybe clean your ears a little bit.
He said it's
So-
not definitive.
So what are you saying then? That it works on a small scale, but not on a big scale?
No, I didn't say that. I
So what are
already
you saying?
told it
What
twice.
are-
I
what
already say
are
it
you
twice, bro.
saying?
I'm not a
What are
pilot.
you
I'm not going to
saying,
repeat what I
Jose?
say.
What are you saying?
You can ask
Jose?
1,000 times, but I already answered twice.
So you're not going to answer then, Jose?
Yes, I did answer it twice.
No, you didn't. You said it doesn't work
Well,
in real
you're proven wrong because people
reality.
here heard me answering.
Did anybody else hear him answer?
Well, I thought it was reality, wasn't it? Didn't we have a demonstration of reality that Jose seemed to think wasn't reality? I don't understand what was going on either, Jose.
And I've seen it on a larger scale. I've seen it on a larger scale. We all have. It's reality. This is reality. It's what we've been saying for years.
All right. What would be a realistic demonstration or test in your eyes, Jose, if this doesn't match reality? What could we change to make it more? Maybe I put words in your mouth.
I already, yeah, I say I misspoke. I say I misspoke when I say it didn't represent reality. Because it is reality, and this is happening in a small scale in this type of warehouse. It's happening. That's it, period. I'm not going to now transfer this that is happening all over the world in a big scale, in miles and miles of distance, because I don't know that. It doesn't necessarily represent from small scale to big scale. It probably doesn't transfer. I'm trying to look for a word. I'm not finding a word, and now you maybe playing with my misspeaking words, and then this guy is trying to talk over me when I try to fix it, but it's okay. I attempted to answer your question.
You don't know if it's scalable, Jose. Well done.
All right, well let's check out. Pebble is playing his newest video. Maybe Pebble started it at the beginning, and let's walk through what you did differently here.
Well, that's very. I'm seeing it on YouTube, so what I'm seeing here is the. the watered mirror layer that Pete likes to go on about. Once the cold air seems to settle down, it creates this mirrored reflection off the surface. That's the first thing I'm seeing.
Yeah, so with this one, it's the same.
You're gonna bring
same
Pete.
setup, but it's just lights off.
Okay.
Otherwise, everything's in the same position.
Flashlight's there. 2 lights are there. Same position. Everything, huh?
Yeah.
Cool. Is the flashlight there, Pebble? To the left?
Yep.
Are you playing it right now? Oh, yeah, there we go.
Oh, wow. That's crazy how that's growing as time goes by.
So the camera's on the floor right now. And then we lift it up.
I wonder why the green light on the bottom doesn't double too. And then you lift it up and you can see the light again. And you can't see that mirrored pink light when you lift it up either.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can see the green one. You're lowering it back down again. And then there's the pink one. Wow, that is weird. Actually, I think that bottom one is doubled because look at how much thicker it is than the top pink light bar.
So that was it.
Oh, that's a good one. Anybody else got any thoughts about that one? Observations?
I think it's just more research, isn't it? It's more evidence. It's more things to build on. More people that do this kind of thing and think out of the box, the more answers we're going to get.
One more thing, like in this beginning part, beside the green, that little white line.
Yeah.
I think that's the LED light reflecting off of the tower piece, or one of the legs that I have on there.
Okay.
If that wouldn't be beside it, it might not even show at all, the LED light. But I'd have to test that. That's what I think it's reflecting off of, because when we lift the camera up, then we can see it like clearly.
Yeah, you can't see the LED light. Not like it's not like shining full force at the beginning of the video before you open the door, can you? You just see that reflection.
Yeah. This video was taken after we had opened the doors the first time, so there was probably, or the room temperature was probably a little lower than when the lights were on. So that's probably why we couldn't see it in the beginning.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's crazy just to see that grow right there like that. That mirage to form. And this floor is flat. I think you said one time that there was some kind of hump or slight ridge in it or something that you thought might be playing a
Slight dips, but I can't really see it with the eyes. But I can only like feel it when I'm pushing that cart on the floor with wheels. I can feel the cart do like a little dip.
which I don't think is a problem because that's how the earth is. I just wonder how much of that light it's blocking. But when you had the lights on before and the flashlight was on the ground, we could clearly see the light before the door opened, flashing full force.
Right here, when we lower the camera, like we can see that LED light fade away in between this white line and the green light. So that's why I think that white line is the reflection off of the tower piece.
Okay. Oh yeah, just went away.
Yeah, and let's not forget, every time we look over water, we aren't looking across a mill pond. I mean, there are occasions when you get them, but for 999 times out of 1,000, the water's moving. And one thing that's always bugged me is that the Globers always want to put you on a flat, motionless water. And that, to me, we don't live somewhere where the water is constantly not moving. It's always moving. It's always jiggling around. There's always stuff going on with the water.
No,
the tides are always moving, and the rolling deck is always there.
Yeah, and
so stop putting us on a flat surface, because stop tying us down to the word flat. That's disingenuous.
Yeah, and certainly not over land. If you're talking about the sunset, 6,000 miles, I'd like you to find me somewhere on Earth where there's not a mountain range in between you and where the sun is setting, which would introduce some cold air in your line of sight, I suppose. Not to mention the Earth is never going to be flat between you and a sunset. So I don't know what part that plays, but it would decrease the amount it would have to sink, I would think, right? So, yeah, pure flatness doesn't really exist except in maybe the salt flats or some very rare circumstances.
Well, Rumpus would come in and say that the salt flats are still curving, even though they're the flattest place,
right,
by a mile.
Right.
They are known to be flat, but he'll say no.
Curves to them.
They are level from the center of the earth.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to go there. I mean, all the testing we've ever done as well. It's can you get something to disappear when looking over a flat surface? And the answer is yes. Yes, you can. Get something to disappear bottom first over a flat surface. Optically, yeah, you can. It can be done. It's been done many times, many different ways.
Yep, it's all about angle, distance, and the conditions of the medium.
Mm-hmm. So all you've got to do is put a big enough distance in there, and you could make anything disappear. Put more distance.
Which is the other, well, let me say it this way. Which is the how can I say this? The other troublesome point when they want us to raise our observation elevation, right? Oh, get higher. Go up to 400 or 500 meters. Okay, well then all you're doing now is changing how far we have to look at. I can't look at the same location. If you want me to look, if I'm looking 20 miles away on the shore, and you say, oh, well get up at 40, at 400 meters. Get up there. Get up higher. Well, I can't make the same observation now because I'm changing the angle at which I'm seeing the observation. I'm coming in at a completely different angle. So if you want me to elevate myself, I'm also going to have to increase my distance, which is the same phenomenon. You might as well just keep me down on the ground and let me shoot my 20 miles.
Is this Travis, a.k.a. Smudge, better known in the interwebs as the Copernicus Ether Band?
Listen, you should have more respect for me.
You starting with the ad homs, Jose? Really?
You should have more respect.
These are nice names.
Which tactic is that? Which tactic?
These aren't ad homs. This is
Didn't
nice
we
names.
just discuss that at the beginning of the show? Hey, Jose, we
This
were
is
just
nice
talking.
names.
No,
I didn't
Jose.
disrespect. I didn't swear. I didn't say any bad
Come
word.
on. You don't have to swear to be condescending.
You said smooch.
Yeah, Travis the Smooch, Ether Band Copernicus, man.
Is that your argument?
No, it's not my argument. I was asking if that was him
So then
because
why
I
is-
kind of
what-
recognize
what
his
is-
voice.
what is-
You know what, guys?
Why? Who did? What is?
This is a great transition into the second part of this look at troll tactics.
I was just
Thanks
going to
for being
say,
here,
Ranty.
Jose.
Yeah, cheers.
Yeah,
cheers,
I like
Ranty.
trolling. Go on, let's hear that. I like trolling. Man.
Check the general chat as well,
Yeah,
just
let's
before
do
you
it.
you progress here, because it's going on.
Oh, okay.
We should have a new statement. It should be Jose and let Jose.
I knew I was here for a reason. I want to hear about the trolling. Ranty say I wasn't a troll, but then he say I was a troll, so I want to see who I am.
Well, we're not here to give you more tips and tricks, but take out of it what you want.
He has the playbook already. Don't worry about it.
All right, let me start. I'm going to start off with.
You are who you are on a different day. One day you can come in and you can be perfectly fine, and the next day you can be coming and you can be a complete twat.
Yeah, that's what's up.
All right, number 1. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. Regardless of what you know, don't discuss it, especially if you're a public figure, news anchor, etc. If it's not reported, it didn't happen, and you never have to deal with the issues. Because that's pretty obvious for somebody out there doing disinformation. If they actually know something, you're never going to get them to actually admit something, right? Has anybody had a baller actually, tell you in private something that they would never admit in public? Or any kind of troll?
I was thinking more of the tactic of I've not seen that. Like you say, watch this video, and they'll go, oh, I've not seen that. Didn't happen.
Yeah,
well, I don't have to defend it. I don't have to say anything about it. I don't know about it.
Yeah, that might fit this one too. Although there's another one I'm thinking that one might fit, which is, I'll jump around here, which is number 9. Play dumb. No matter what evidence or logical argument is offered, avoid discussing issues, except with denials they have any credibility, make any sense, provide any proof, contain or make a point, have logic, or support a conclusion. Mix well for maximum effect. Anybody recognize that one in any of their interactions?
Oh yeah,
that's the one right there.
That's the typical text chat troll.
Absolutely. Anytime that you make a good point, and you just know when you make a good point in an argument, does it ever get acknowledged? Very, very rarely will you have somebody acknowledge in an argument that you've made a good point. Number 2, become incredulous and indignant. Avoid discussing key issues and instead focus on side issues, which can be used to show the topic as being critical of some otherwise sacrosanct group or theme. This is known as the how dare you gambit. How dare you malign NASA? All those great people who work so hard to get us to the moon.
Yeah, how dare you question all of humans combined knowledge?
Yeah, science. How dare you go against science?
How dare you?
Yeah, we've known the Earth isn't flat for 3,000 years.
Bro, it was like 250 years. Like a couple years ago in the argument.
Whatever it is today.
It's like grandma's 40 time, Every year the gym teacher's grandma got stronger and faster.
Yeah, pretty soon the dinosaurs were going to know the Earth was flat. Or a globe. Number 3, create rumor mongers. Avoid discussing issues by describing all charges, regardless of venue or evidence, as mere rumors and wild accusations. Other derogatory terms mutually exclusive of truth may work as well. This method, which works especially well with a silent press, because the only way the public can learn of the facts are through such arguable rumors. If you can associate the material with the internet, use this fact to certify it as wild rumor from a bunch of kids on the internet, which can have no basis in fact. Or, as we note in this community, what did you learn science from YouTube videos? Oh, you saw Eric's Debase 200 proofs and now you think you know that NASA's lying?
Yeah, that's a familiar one.
Raise your hand if you didn't get involved into this by social media or YouTube. My hand is up.
If you didn't,
my hand is up.
If you did get involved into the topic,
I'm not putting my hand up like a child.
I did not. Okay.
But I didn't get involved in it for that.
No, me neither.
If you didn't get involved in it through YouTube or social media?
If you did,
right,
if you by social media or watching
do
YouTube
with-
videos got involved into this, well, exactly the topic that you were talking about.
Okay,
So
hang
one
on,
point
let
that
me-
somebody gave an example.
Okay, I'm gonna give you an example. My name is Rob, and I got involved in flat Earth because my brother offhandedly made some snide comment and said, "You probably think the Earth is flat." I gave him a side look, like, "The fuck are you talking about?" I didn't think much of it, and then I thought about it later. I went home, actually looked into it, and holy shit, God was right.
As a part of that, you looked into it. Did it involve YouTube whatsoever?
What?
No, it did not involve it. It involved some YouTube videos, but YouTube isn't what changed my mind, bro.
No, I know, but to be
Called
fair,
revelation.
almost everybody got
This is
involved and interested in the topic and talking about the topic and where we are today due to social media and YouTube and the capability to talk to each other. That was social
That's
media
right.
and YouTube who
I
did that.
agree. I agree. I agree. I agree.
I think
It's a little bit like
I wouldn't be able to discuss
Is
all
that
of this
supposed to be
without
sort of a bold
social media.
statement that people communicated
Right?
using avenues of communication? Like, duh, that's what people do.
Yeah. This is
But the
part
problem
of the
is
list,
the
this,
Biggest
right,
thing for people to
Jose?
communicate with, they happen to use to communicate.
People
Well, you guys try
communicate with
to,
each
yeah,
other.
exactly. You guys tried to disagree with me with a fag. I mean, there was nothing
No,
wrong.
no,
There's
I
no
wasn't.
gotchas.
Jose, I was
Sort
all
of a statement
with
that
you.
you're making that's opposition or something. Like that's just an
No,
obvious
I
thing.
wasn't.
Why are you
I
bringing
was-
that up?
I was just commenting that a
Oh,
fact.
okay.
Commenting that people talk to each other. Brilliant, Jose.
It's called I still ain't got no gas pressure without a container evidence. I ain't got no R value radius, but I'll just come here and talk about why we're here.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything
I
wrong
got-
with us,
well,
all of
yeah.
us finding each other or sharing information on whatever social media. We all know that our press is worthless, that the government lies to us continuously. Who the hell do we have to trust anymore? We have to share facts. And that's what they're talking about here when they say, especially if you have a silent media, our media doesn't tell us shit. How many times have you read about something or know something through back channels or whatever, and the media never talks about it or talks about it months later when it doesn't even matter? We used to get called conspiracy theorists for talking about how the government was spying on us all through our cell phones and our computers, that they were reading all our stuff. That's just a fact now. Everybody knows that. No one disputes that. It's a fact, period. We have to share information. Anyway, use a straw man. Find or create a seeming element of your opponent's argument which you can easily knock down to make yourself look good and the opponent to look bad. Either make up an issue you may safely imply exists based on your interpretation of the opponent argument, situation, or select the weakest aspect of the weakest charges, amplify their significance, and destroy them in a way which appears to debunk all the charges, real and fabricated alike, while actually avoiding discussion of the real issues.
You
I got the
describe
perfect
every
one
single
for that.
flat earther ever.
Bro, that's the perfect one. Show me your model, right? They'll say that. Show us your model.
You describe
right?
all
They
the
do-
flat earthers.
They say they have something, right, which they really isn't anything special. It's all bullshit. But then they're like, oh, let's see what you have. Show us your thing.
And then flat earther, because they don't understand the actual argument, they misinterpret, and they try to argue a point and debunk a point that the globe doesn't say.
Name one, Jose.
Gas pressure next to a vacuum without a container. That's one.
What? Who misrepresents what?
Globers
Yeah,
don't say
why
that.
don't you
Globers
explain
never
that
say
one?
that. You find a article by anybody, a Glober, that says that.
Because they don't think about it.
It
They're
can't
not that
happen,
sharp.
can it? There will be no articles because
there's
it's
no argument.
impossible.
Exactly. No, there's no argument. You guys, that's a straw man, because any Glober proposed that, and you guys got an argument.
No,
fighting
you
with yourself.
guys know it's impossible. That's why there's no articles on it.
Because nobody claimed that. Because that's not an argument. That's not the way the globe model works.
What is your space, Jose? Is that a vacuum?
Yeah, what is outer space?
Yeah, it's
Jose, what is
a
outer
very
space?
low pressure that is measured
Yeah.
at 10
How
to the
long
negative
is
17
Jupiter
torr. You see how
not
I
a
attempted
gas
to answer,
bubble
but 3 people
in
talk
a
over me.
vacuum?
I was asked a question and 2 people talked over me when I was answering. Just pointing that
No,
out.
we heard you, Jose. I heard you.
Yeah, but the guys that were talking over me, they were gonna try to ask me maybe something
they
exactly
didn't
the
hear
same
you.
question in a different way, but they didn't hear me because they was talking over me.
What's that one
That's
where
fine.
they
I
like
heard you.
the one where they play stupid, right? Like he's just what do you mean? We don't say that there's a big giant vacuum like pressure surrounding an atmosphere. We don't say that. We just say it's 10 to the negative tour, which is a giant negative.
Except if you watch a NASA spacewalk video, they call it the vacuum of space.
It's just playing stupid. Good job, Jose is here to give us in real time, right? All of the trolling tactics. So there's that one. Thanks, Jose. Keep it
But here's
coming,
a
bud.
question. I got a question. If we observe a density gradient decreases with altitude, why would it not go to zero?
But you don't. Okay, that's the problem. You don't observe a density gradient. Okay, so what you observe, and
yes,
hang
it's
on,
measured.
hang
It
on,
can be
hang on,
Gas
bro,
has
hang on.
density?
Bro,
Wait, let
so
right,
see how people just
right the hand respond, please.
Yeah. So when what you're trying to describe is your bag of chips. You have a bag of chips that's deflated, and you go up in altitude, and the bag inflates. Right. That's your mechanism. Now you try from that bag of chips or your barometer, whatever. You try to manifest bouncing balls that get less as you go up. That's not what's happening. Okay. You go up the bag of chips. Now, from that, you can try and manifest whatever you want. Ask us questions, whatever you want. But to think that it goes up until it's a vacuum, and this vacuum chamber, which we always need a chamber to make a vacuum, like this chamberless vacuum is surrounding air, is just ridiculous. What? Because your bag of chips expands? Come on, man.
Howard, let me just try to voice my opinion in this. That is, you simply posed an inductive question. You inferred something without evidence. Okay, let's say that you do have a way of measuring a differential in density from the ground level, let's say up 5 miles, and you can only go 5 miles. Let's just say it for argument's sake for right now. Would you build a science on anything above 5 miles based on, well, this is what we're seeing here? Why don't we just think that that's what's going on up farther, even though we can't go up that high, right? So when you ask the question, well, why won't it go to zero? Okay, that's a great question, but without evidence, you're not going to be able to build any science off of that. Do you get
the
that?
evidence is that the plane goes twice that distance, not 5 miles, it's 10 miles. And another heavier plane can go up to 15 and 20 miles. And there are some, whatever you think, there's other apparatus and vehicles that go higher than that. Maybe 40, let's give it 50 miles.
Are you white knighting for
50
Howard
miles.
right now? Pretty sure I was talking to Howard,
No.
Jose.
You actually
Jose,
mentioned right hand.
No, I addressed Howard, and I don't even understand what your response meant. So, thanks.
Okay.
Okay, let's go on to the next one then.
Well, let me answer them because Howard. So, because you can measure up to 5 miles, no, I cannot infer what's above that. But what if I can measure 10, 20, 30, 40 miles above the earth? I can.
Okay,
I
you're
cannot,
missing the
I don't
point.
even have to. I don't even have to imagine what's above those 40 miles because
You're
from
miss-
ground
you're
level
missing
to
the
those
point,
40
Jose.
miles is already 10 to the negative 17 tour. I'm just throwing a ball number. It's probably not. It's probably 60 or 70, 100 miles. But up to the height that we have gone, it is whatever is measurable. It adds up to. There's no need to a vacuum next to a container. I mean, it's a non-argument. It's an argument that you guys made so you can debunk yourself. Strawman. That's the troll tactic. Carry on.
Yeah. So, Howard, I just want to know that my point wasn't lost on that disruption. Do you understand what I was trying to say to you?
Yeah. You just think we're limited in our understanding and we can't know the answer. But to me, we observe a density gradient, and it's logical for me to assume that that gradient continues to an altitude such that it goes to zero.
And my point, just real quick, is that's hold on real quick, Chris. My point to answer you is that's fine if you want to just simply put that off on the side in parentheses, right? but we have seen, I think, let me say it this way. I have seen enough evidence in my research that they start with what they think is happening, and then they build their science around that, and then all of a sudden their science is proven by circular reasoning, right? They hold on just real quick. So we can know the distance to the sun if Venus is the same size as Earth. And then they just build shit off of that. And then they lose everyone else in all of their conundrums and all of their equations. And then they say, look, here's an equal sign. This was our idea. And you know what? We weren't that far off.
Well, that is science. You make an observation that you don't know what it is.
That's not
You make
science.
it, and you say, I wonder if this is what's going on. And you test it and you discover, well, what do you know? That's what's going on.
All right. That was straw man, right? Sidetrack opponents with name calling and ridicule. This is also known as the primary attack the messenger ploy. Through other methods, qualify as variants of that approach.
And Jose just did that again just a few minutes ago by Yep.
And he did it when he came in. That's what the rumpus does when he comes in. He comes in immediately calling somebody a name, right? Always.
Thank you, Jose.
Listen to the examples they've got in here. Associate opponents with unpopular titles such as kooks, right-wing, liberal, left-wing, terrorists, conspiracy buffs, radicals, militia, racists, religious fanatics, sexual deviants. I can think of a ton other that we get called on a regular basis, such as
I don't use any of that. I gotta raise my hand, and people here know that I don't appreciate that.
science deniers.
Jose the troll has his standards.
He'll let his channel call flat earthers every name in the book. And you say
Rakia, you wanna vouch for me, Rakia? What happened when somebody get disrespected?
I was called a liar and you did nothing, so
yeah, sorry,
I
me
was
personally,
away from my phone.
yeah, but I say me calling people that and treating people like that, I don't do it. So that's why I'm raising my hand.
I think we've all done it. You've gotten
If
better.
you allow it to happen in your Hangout, right? If you're biased to ballers calling flat earthers names, you'll let a baller like call flat earthers names. But the moment a flat earther calls a baller name, you ban them. Then yeah, you're doing tactics, and that's what you do. That's why you have almost only ballers.
I don't do that. I don't do that. They do it. I don't.
You do. Okay. What everybody in the room is saying you've done everything,
Jose, I don't
Jose,
think
but you don't
can
do
say
that.
you
Okay.
don't
We're
do
all
it. I've
wrong.
never done it. I've done it. You know,
I
everybody
could
does
just have a doctor on call because you might
The
break
list of names that Brandon just mentioned, I don't use any of those names. The names
Yeah,
that Brandon mentioned, I use any of those names.
Yeah,
Zero.
you
I never
might
do.
want to have a doctor on call because you might break your arm patting yourself on the back so much on this show.
Of course, yeah, I have
He's
to.
got his own set of ad homs.
Yes, I'm a smart troll. I'm a respectful troll.
All right, next
Bro,
one.
such
So this
thing
is
as
a
a
really
respectful
common one.
troll.
Somebody said Rumpus.
The mo-
Rumpus is a master at this. He can pack a couple of these in every single sentence that he says, and he says like 20 sentences in a minute. So he's good, but we all at times have called each other names and used ridicule. But this is definitely one of the heavy tactics that's used to call us names. I mean, just think about even the president has called us names.
Of the worst to use.
All right, hit and run. In any public forum, make a brief attack on your opponent or the opponent position and then scamper off before an answer can be fielded, or simply ignore any answer. This works extremely well in internet and letter to the editor environments where a steady stream of new identities can be called upon without having to explain criticism, reasoning. Simply make an accusation or other attack, never discussing issues and never answering any subsequent responses, for that would dignify the opponent's viewpoint.
Shut up, Brandon. You're wrong. Earth is a globe. Earth is not flat.
Thanks, Jose. Appreciate that. Good example.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Question motives. Twist or amplify any fact which could be taken to imply that the opponent operates out of a hidden personal agenda or other bias. This avoids
This is
discussing
gaslighting.
issues.
This is gaslighting. This is Brenda par excellence right here.
You just want to feel special. We get that a lot. You're just a flat earther because you want to feel special.
Yep.
Or you're a shill. You're doing this for the money. Anything like that. Invoke authority. Claim for yourself or associate yourself with authority and present your argument with enough jargon and minutia to illustrate you are the one who knows, and simply say it isn't so without discussing issues or demonstrating concretely why or citing sources.
Which it gets it.
Bob the Science Guy told me I can use him as citation, anything he say.
That was generous of him.
Yeah, I done.
Witsit gets it. What, Howard?
That's who I thought of when he read the description.
That's one made me immediately think of Rumpus, because he packs so much in the jargon and minutia part. But by the end of him talking, he forgot what the initial subject was.
Rumpus is never wrong.
Honestly, there have been many times when I have just been speechless in awe at the machine that is the Rumpus, because I just think this is like a finely tuned machine that just will not fail in its purpose, right? His purpose is to Terminator. Rumpus. It's just incredible. It's absolutely it's like almost like I've watched a movie once where the script was written so well. I thought to myself, no one normal would ever talk like this. Like, this isn't a normal conversation.
Is that a Weasel movie? The Room?
No. But anyway, my point is that Rumpus's ability to say what he says is so scripted that it's not normal. That was my point.
Yeah, like a great example of that, what you're talking about, is the West Wing. You ever watch that show? They all talk really speedily and pretty slickly, and all those movies like that. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Number 9.
I want to learn how to talk squiggly, whatever you say.
Hang out with Rumpus more.
Oh, no, I booted him earlier today for my show.
Yeah, I heard that.
He was crazy today.
Number 9, play dumb. No matter what evidence, or I think we already read that one. Number 10, associate opponent charges with old news. Derivative of the straw man, usually in any large-scale matter of high visibility, someone will make charges early on, which can be or were already dealt with, a kind of investment for the future should the matter not be so easily contained. Where it can be foreseen, have your side raise a straw man issue and have it dealt with early on as part of the initial contingency plans. So I don't know if I can think of any examples of that.
Yeah, we knew
that's something like character
10,000 years
assassination.
ago.
Like character assassination, like before, like red herring is either like type of fallacy. Like you say, like, but this person believes in this or think about this or he talk about this, and then so we don't have to hear what you gotta say. Not necessarily the same, but similar.
Yeah, that could work. Yeah. What'd you say right there?
Well, they say like flat Earth is old news, right? Oh, we've known the Earth was a ball for so long, right? Like you're just it's archaic. It's how we used to think. That we used to think the Earth was flat, but not anymore.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's old news. Oh no, we already ruled that out long ago. 11, establish and rely upon fallback positions. Using a minor matter elements of facts, take the high road and confess with candor that some innocent mistake in hindsight was made, but that opponents have seized on the opportunity to blow it all out of proportion and imply greater criminalities, which just isn't so. This one, I think, gets used all the time to defend NASA.
I was going to say, the moon landing. They didn't land on it, but that's where they had to fake it, for Russia. And we had to show that we were superior.
Or the pictures from space, the pictures of the ball with the blue marble and all those other ones that aren't actually photos. First, they're photos. You get into this argument. First, they're photos. Then when you point out they're not photos, then they're composites. Then it'll come down to there's only actually one real photo that NASA claims is an actual whole photo of the Earth. So,
blue marble. Can you debunk that one? The 1972 blue marble?
No, I don't. I mean, other than the fact that I think it's impossible.
Hey, Jose, have you seen how they got that shot?
From a window of the rocket that was taking men to.
Yeah, so there's two stories. There's two stories for that. One, you can only believe one. So you can believe that they just put the camera right up to the window and took a picture of what we call Earth, or you can listen to a movie that somebody else made that said, well, they filmed it away from the window and you see exactly what happened, and it actually kind of matches the 72 blue marble picture. Weird.
You're talking about the Bart Seibel footage that he supposedly received in the box, Rob?
Yeah. Anybody that's looked into the moon landings has looked into Bart Seibel. So
have you looked into all the debunks to that thing? Have you looked into the debunks, or you just watched that because it conforms with you? Okay.
Yeah, Jose, did you hear what I said? There's two stories that you can believe, right? You can only believe one of the two stories. It's called a dichotomy. Unfortunately, it is what it is. So you have that choice. Thanks for being here, Jose.
Cool. Thank you for watching all the debunks of that. That is easily explained how they do it. All right.
Number 12, enigmas have no solution. Drawing upon the overall umbrella of events surrounding the crime and the multitude of players and events, paint the entire affair as too complex to solve. This causes otherwise following the matter to begin to lose interest more quickly without having to address the actual issues.
Oh, why would they lie? Right? All these people, every person that works for NASA is in on this big lie, right? Come on.
Can we play the song? Come on.
Oh,
sorry to cut you
why
off.
would they lie?
Please, dear God, no. Please, dear God. Dear God, please, no.
For Travis, I won't today. All right.
Right the hand on Sean
Thank you, God.
$100.
Number 13, Alice in Wonderland logic. Avoid discussion of the issues by reasoning backwards or with an apparent deductive logic which forbears any actual material fact.
Like claiming that in a warehouse you mix the cold with the hot and this will scalable to big scale, for example?
Are you saying you can't scale mixing hot and cold to bigger? That's what this.
No, I'm talking about what he mentioned right now.
No, yeah.
I'm just giving an example.
Exactly. Playing stupid. Thinking you can't scale up mixing of cold and hot.
Right? Wait, hold on. I want to diagnose what just happened right now. All along this, Jose's been taking notes. And so he just found an opportunity to go into his script and pull out an example.
Ooh, script.
Yeah.
This one, avoid discussion of issues by reasoning backwards with an apparent deductive logic. I'm not sure I 100% understand what this means.
It sounds like a straw man tactic. I don't know. It kind of sounds like they're using another tactic but calling it something else. I don't
How about
necessarily
referring back to the Bible rather than modern science?
No, I don't think that. But you know what?
I mean,
maybe
are these the examples to describe a troll? Because I don't think I fit in any of this. I guess I'm not a troll at the end of the day.
I think
we already pointed out your trolling behavior, Jose.
Yeah, I think that one falls under number 9.
Disappointed, Jose. Let's hope yet, Jose.
Go back and read this one again. I don't know that I get it.
Yeah, let me read it one more time. Avoid discussion of the issues by reasoning backwards or with an apparent deductive logic which forbears any actual material fact.
Yeah, that sounds like a combination of a red herring and a straw man. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, let's move on. Number 14, demand complete solutions. Avoid the issues by requiring opponents to solve the crime at hand completely Employ which works best with issues qualifying for Rule 10. Rule 10 was associate opponent's charges with old news. Demand complete solutions. Anybody got an example of that one?
Yeah, we need everything. I need a full replacement for everything. I need to know shape. I need a replacement for gravity. I need all the equations replacing. All of that.
Yeah. If we can disprove your cause, we have to replace it with another cause.
Yeah, you need an alternative in order to deny what is existing today.
There you go.
You can only you can just deny, but nobody will take you seriously until you present an alternative. That's what's up. That's fact.
Show us the citation on that, Jose.
It's a fact that everybody
show us the citation.
Jose's just explaining for us. Like Brandon says something, it's a tactic, and Jose's going, yes, exactly that.
Picture you had a kid and you come home and the window's broken, and you're like, how did this window break? And they were like, a dragon came in and broke it. And you're like, well, unless I think of something else, I guess I just got to believe that. That's Jose's logic.
Maybe that's the Alice in Wonderland logic that we were.
That was actually pretty good. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. 15. Fit the facts to alternate conclusions. This requires creative thinking unless the crime was planned with contingency conclusions in place.
Oh, come on. This
gravity.
Anybody else want to feel this is their bread and butter. This is their bread and butter. I see half a lighthouse, therefore Earth is a ball.
Yeah.
Because I know in my place I will have many cameras pointing on my kid's room and the outside of the house, and I'll review that and I'll see either my kid breaking the window or breaking on himself, and I say like, all right, let me check on the other cameras, and I see a rock jumping through. I don't see any dragon. So the alternative is not the kid. What the kid told me is a dragon. I know it's not, because there's an alternative that I can provide evidence for because it's recorded.
And then one day you're watching these videos and you see a dragon on the video, because you can do anything with video, right? You can make a ball.
Unless you're that creep to go and manipulate my videos and put the footage in.
You don't get to interrupt. So the fact that you never see a dragon.
So you got to interrupt because I wasn't at the end of my statement, but you're able to interrupt, but I'm not able to interrupt in the middle of your statement, right? You interrupted the middle of my statement, but I'm not able to interrupt you. Is that how it goes?
Oh, I didn't know you were done. And two, just because somebody else does something, does that give you free reign to do it yourself?
No, but if you do it,
so let's
you get it.
If
you do it, you get it.
Okay, 16. Vanish evidence and witnesses.
Jose just contradicted himself. Hold on. Jose, you just contradicted yourself.
Yeah, we know, because he's the troll.
Thank you.
Banish evidence and witnesses. If it does not exist, it is not fact, and you won't have to address the issue.
There's no evidence for a flat Earth. Boom.
These are not the droids you seek.
17. Change the subject. Usually in connection with one of the other ploys listed here. Find a way to sidetrack the discussion with abrasive or controversial comments in hopes of turning attention to a new, more manageable topic. This works especially well with companions who can argue with you over the new topic and polarize the discussion arena in order to avoid discussing more key issues.
Smudge?
Gem Panda server.
That's a speciality, that. Yeah.
They're not smudges!
Have you seen the movie The Gods Must Be Crazy? It's a really good movie. Like, I really like it.
I do too, actually.
Is that the Coke bottle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in that. Nice distraction, Jose.
18.
Thank you again.
Emotionalize, antagonize, and goad opponents. If you can't do anything else, chide and taunt your opponents and draw them into emotional responses, which will tend to make them look foolish and overly motivated, and generally render their material somewhat less coherent.
Text chat trolls, that's what they do. That's the idea of them. That's what they're there for. It's if you ever go into any debate anywhere with any of these people and you look at any chat, don't. Just ignore the chats. Let other people do it, because you'll get distracted. You'll do that.
Smudge.
I was just thinking that right now. Exactly what I was thinking.
I couldn't get to the mute button fast enough. Smudge.
This one is definitely, we see this all over the place. You're right, Bo.
It's purposeful to try and get you riled up, to get you to be aggressive, come over the wrong way from the start.
Oh yeah, losing.
That's why I don't like the trolls, the text trolls, because they don't add anything ever, and they just get you riled up. They make you ill, actually. Make you not want to come around to certain places.
Yeah, and you,
Gentlemen,
it takes, you have to learn to ignore it and not take it seriously at all.
I'll keep listening. I'm out. I keep listening. I'm out. I gotta wash dishes and eat. Boom.
Later, Jose.
You got to learn to ignore what they say, not take what they're saying seriously, but it's hard to do it for sure, especially when you are well intentioned.
Hey, Rakia, turn your camera on so that we can have like a World Series of Poker view of your cards.
We're just hanging out. We're fixing to play a tournament here. 7.
You know, if none of the harm came out of Boston.
But 19. Ignore proof presented. Demand impossible proofs. This is perhaps a variant of the play dumb rule. Regardless of what material may be presented by an opponent in public forums, claim the material irrelevant and demand proof that is impossible for the opponent to come by.
Show me water sticking to a ball.
WS. That's WS's whole stick.
Yeah, fight the flat Earth. It's a play on the show me evidence of a flat Earth, right? You present anything that's not evidence, right? That's that argument right there. They'll ask you for evidence. You'll present something, then they say it's not evidence. So then you have to get into what is evidence, and they don't do that so that they can just dismiss anything you put out, but bring in whatever they want. So this is another big one they do.
Howard, listen. You have to understand that the example you just brought up is called circular reasoning. Okay? So you cannot demonstrate water adhering to a rotating surface at high speeds. You can't. Hold on.
It's exactly what the statement was.
Hold on. You can't demonstrate that. So your only proof is to say, you see that ocean? That's doing it. Okay, that's called circular reasoning. You might as well hold on.
You're requesting evidence that I can't give.
Okay, right. That's called pseudoscience. If you can't produce evidence, yes.
You're claiming it though, Howard. You're claiming it.
Yes, if you are claiming something to be, and your only evidence for that thing is the thing itself, that is not science. It's circular arguments.
But your request for me to show you water sticking to a ball, you're asking me to show you a planet with water sticking to it.
Right. Okay. Listen. Hold on. Let me take care. Let me take care of Howard if I can, please. I'm not asking for help. I'm not tapping out just yet. Howard, you have to understand the inability for you to prove your claim. You can't demonstrate or prove your claim. All you can say is, I have an idea as to what that ocean is doing, and I can draw you a picture, but that's all I can do.
Or I could show you a picture from 1972.
Okay, Howard, listen, this is where this is why that picture was created. That picture was created to take away from the ability to empirically prove a claim. You cannot, let's go to 1971, Howard. We're back in 1971. How are you going to fucking prove your claim right now? There's no picture. right?
Yeah,
You can't prove it. Okay, that's my point. You can't prove it. So that's how I know that picture's fake. I don't have to argue CGI, nothing. All I have to argue is the mechanics of water. We know what water does. I can show you water maintaining its level in any container. I can do that all day. All day.
Small scale.
I can do
All
it.
scale.
I can do it all day long.
Any scale.
Any scale, Howard. Any scale.
The only scale Howard has is the one he can't test. That's not an actual scale. That's called non-testable. If I said I can only fly, hold on, Howard. If I said I can fly, or go invisible, but only when nobody or nothing can see me, I've just made a claim that is unfalsifiable. The only way to know if I went invisible is to have somebody look at me. But you're saying nobody can look at this, the claim of the ball, but we have to accept that it's possible.
Well, see, we're getting off.
That was great. That was great.
We're not getting off the topic. That's exactly the topic. He just addressed exactly what you're talking about. You are wrong. Period.
No, the statement was to request impossible evidence. You're requesting us to show you water sticking to a ball is something the human can't do.
Oh, well, listen. You're misunderstanding what it's saying, though. It's not request impossible information for something that is normally just acceptable. You're saying your claim itself is impossible. That's the problem with the evidence being impossible. It isn't because we're requesting anything out of the ordinary or anything that should be difficult if your claim is true. If your claim is true, we're not asking for something impossible. The only way it's impossible is if you admit your claim is false.
No, I don't admit.
Because your claim is water sticking to a ball.
Yeah. Planet Earth with water on it. That's my claim. But
your claim is water sticking to a ball. So prove your claim. The only way it's impossible is if you're admitting that your claim is impossible.
But we're not arguing water.
Because all you're saying is water sticks to a ball, but it's impossible for me to show you water sticking to a ball. Well, congratulations, buddy. Your claim's impossible.
I'm providing an example of the statement that Brandon read.
It's not an example of the statement that he read, though. It's a different example entirely.
Read it again, Brandon. Read it again, Brandon.
Demand complete solutions. Avoid the issues by requiring opponents to solve the crime at hand completely. Employ which works best with issues qualifying for Rule 10, which was associate open opponent charges with old news.
Yeah, that's not what you said that. Request evidence, impossible evidence.
Oh, was I reading a different one?
You might have read the wrong one.
I think
Brandon.
number 19 is the one he's referring to.
It's the one we're on right now.
Oh.
Is there one that has impossible
My
evidence?
brain skipped back. 19. Ignore proof presented, demand impossible proofs. This is the variant of play dumb rule. Regardless of what material may be presented by an opponent in public forums, claim the material irrelevant and demand proof that is impossible for the opponent to come by.
From my perspective, that is Flat Earth's argument in a nutshell.
No, that's not the same thing.
But we present level water.
Yeah,
Because we're not asking you for something that's not in your model. We're asking you for something that you're actually claiming can happen. So it's not.
Yeah.
It's only impossible to show us because it's impossible to do.
You're asking for show me gas pressure next to a vacuum. Nobody even says that. And
yes, they do, Howard. We already said this earlier. Listen. NASA, in inadvertent ways, when they call a spacewalk, when they describe a spacewalk happening in the vacuum of space, they are putting those two systems next to each other. The fact that we're calling that bullshit out doesn't take away from the fact that that's what the implication is.
They haven't understood the implications of their actions.
Or they're hoping that people aren't smart enough to figure it out.
Yeah, people are just dumb. Maybe people are dumb.
they use that stupid gradient. Well, then the bag of chips, then it goes to nothing, so it's not next to
Here,
the vacuum.
let's use right the hands example to explain why this is different. If I say I can turn invisible, and then you say, show me you turning invisible, you're not doing this thing that it's describing. All you're doing is asking me to prove to you exactly what I just claimed I can do. You're not doing number 19. You're just saying, prove the claim you literally just made to me.
Yeah,
That's not the same as number 19.
Yeah.
Number 19 is saying a claim has been made, and you come up with something entirely separate that doesn't have to do anything with it, basically. You're making something up. That's what you're doing with number 19. You're making something up for them to come up with, just basically pulling something out of thin air for them to prove to you that they don't actually need to prove to you at all, so that you can throw them off.
Right,
That's not the same as saying, oh, you claim you can turn invisible? Literally show me you turning invisible, please. That's not the same thing at all.
Yeah,
I'm hoping for a concession.
Yeah, I think so far off point that we can read the next one.
No. We're holding your
the
feet to
point
the
directly.
fire. Yeah. We just addressed your point. That's exactly it.
I just said I'm
That point
hoping
would
for a
be-
concession.
I was just going to say that point would be like us saying, okay, show us a planet-sized planet with water around it. That would be an impossible evidence for you to give us. But we're not asking for that. We're just asking for you to show us what you scaled down version
The
of
fact
what you
that
claim.
you claim it has to be the size of a planet is your problem, not us. We're not saying show us a planet with water on it. We're saying show us an example of the thing you literally claim is happening anywhere, any size, at any point. Show us the thing you claim in any way, shape, or form. A water
You can't even do it.
spinning ball. If you can show that
No,
in
the
any
laws of
scale at
physics
all that you pick,
prohibit that. The
if
laws
you
of physics
decide that it can't happen at a certain scale, that's your problem, not ours. Because we're not saying a certain scale. We're saying any scale you want. Show us.
All right, say what you said again now, Howard, because I couldn't hear you.
The laws of physics prohibit my ability to show you a basketball.
Yeah, that's called water
Your
mechanics.
problem.
That's called water mechanics, bro. Yeah, right. Water does not bend around the exterior of a surface, let alone when that surface is rotating at 1,000 miles an hour.
What would you say to a flat earther if he said the laws of physics don't allow me to demonstrate what I believe to you? What would you say to a flat earther who said that to you?
Well, they kind of get said all the time. I mean, it didn't the laws of physics brought into it, but I mean, show me the flat Earth.
What? Okay, stop. Listen, Howard.
When have those flat earthers said the laws of physics don't work with us? When have we not do that?
You did not even address Right the Hand's issue, Howard. What are you doing, man?
I must have missed it. What was the issue?
What would you say to a flat earther that just used the same excuse you did? The laws of physics don't allow me to show you proof. Now, do you believe the thing that they claimed about flat Earth, or do you not believe it?
Well, it's a matter of what you're asking and whether it can or can't be done.
Can it be done or not be done because it's a claim that is provable or not provable? Or can it not be done because the asker is asking for something that no one would ever be able to do anyway?
The fact that we're on a planet that's within a gravitational field is what prevents me from showing you what you want.
Okay, your claim
Howard,
is that the
show
laws of
me a
physics prevent
gravitational
you.
field.
You're saying that
Howard,
because all these things that
show
I
us
think
the
are true
gravitational field.
I can't prove to you that they're true. Now, if a flat earther said to you the exact same thing, because all the things that I think about flat Earth are true, I can't prove to you that they're true, well, do you believe the Earth is flat now?
Well, see, you know,
The answer is no, Left Lane. You don't need to
it
explain
is the
anything. Your answer
Not
is
gonna let
no,
me-
and
you're not
we
gonna
all
let me
understand that.
You're not going to let me answer.
We don't need you to answer. Your answer is no. We already know that. You don't
thank
believe
you,
the Earth is flat,
It's a hypothetical
What the
question.
especially with an explanation like that.
Go ahead, Left Lane. Answer, though. What's your answer?
I'm triggered. I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
Okay. All right. There's another part of this that I think it's ignored, which is ignore proofs presented. So in the case of the water sticking to the outside of a spinning ball, what is the proof presented that we're ignoring?
And I keep telling them I can give them a flat Earth model with land, water, pressure, gradient, all of those things. They can't give us even a globe that you can hold in your hand and actually get from one place to another, or, you know,
I mean,
nothing.
you could give them you could give them thousands of models demonstrating, water and earth and
having
the
all
sun
the stars,
and rain.
the sun,
you
the
give them
moon,
thousands
rain,
of models that show at least
and
some
all at
subset
once.
of our reality.
All at once, not just one computer model of one thing and then another computer model with none of those things in it and with something completely different, showing that working on its own. We can put them all together and have them all working all at the same time.
Well, it doesn't matter which things you have in there and which ones you don't. It's a model. That's the problem, is that they're asking for a model, which is just a cartoon. It's a plaything, okay? It's pretend. And we're saying we're not going to work within models, pretend. We're just going to use reality. You can give them a model of flat Earth. You could give them all kinds of models of flat Earth. And you could give them all kinds of wrong models of flat Earth if you wanted to. Why basically put information out there that you have nothing to back it up with just because they demand it? Well, you shouldn't. That's not a good way to live your life. That's not a good way to engage in the conversation. I mean, I could point to 1,000 different video games that all have flat Earths in them. They have a sun that moves around them, a moon. It has weather. It has water effects. It has all kinds of things, just like in our world. But I understand that that's just pretend, and it doesn't in any way show proof of reality because it's a video game, even if it has some
look
of
at all
those
the
things
really
in it.
big ones, like DayZ, where you've got a massive, hundreds of kilometers wide map that you, as a man, run around on and, play survival. Fish and hunt, and you see the sun come up. You can follow the stars come up at night. It's so
Over
realistic.
90% of video games that have a map that you play on are based on a flat Earth model, by the way. That's how they build video games, is on a flat plane. That's how it works.
Yes.
That doesn't prove anything. That doesn't prove the Earth is flat. It doesn't prove the Earth is a sphere. It doesn't prove it either way because it's a video game. It's a cartoon. It's pretend.
That's exactly right. So why are we talking about video games?
Because that's what a model is. It's a different version of a video game. It's pretend. It's not real. It proves nothing. It's just a model.
We're talking about it because you brought up a picture.
And we bring it up because that's what they demand from us, is a model. I can point to Steam and say there's lots of flat Earth models on there, and I'm correct. There are. There's all kinds of flat Earth models on Steam. Pick a video game where you can walk around, and you're on a flat Earth model, and it works. It doesn't prove anything, though, does it? I can go into Minecraft and show you a flat Earth model, and it won't prove a dang thing, but it'll work. There'll be day, there'll be night, there'll be water, there'll be food. It's all there, and it's all flat. But it doesn't prove anything about reality.
But I didn't say anything about a model, did I?
No, I didn't say you did. We weren't talking to you anymore. You said you were done because you were triggered. We were addressing something else. The concept of the model.
Oh, okay.
It proves nothing. A model doesn't prove anything. A model is worthless. If you want to discuss models, you can discuss models. And I'm not saying you as in Left Lane. I'm saying you as in anybody that's listening. If you want to discuss models, that's fine. But recognize that discussing models means you've entered pretend land, and you're discussing pretend land now because it's a model, not reality.
All right, moving on. To number 20, false evidence. Whenever possible, introduce new facts or clues designed and manufactured to conflict with opponent presentations as useful tools to neutralize sensitive issues or impede resolution. This works best when the crime was designed with contingencies for the purpose and the facts cannot be easily separated from the fabrications.
Oh, that's space. That's everything in space right there.
That sounds like what the surveyors are doing. The three stooges that are getting around.
Sounds like WS saying Euclid wrote spherical geometry. That sort of shit. just
Yeah,
making
that's
shit
right,
up and
yeah.
just injecting it into the conversation as though it's possible. Like, because spherical geometry is non-Euclidean, so why would Euclid write it? It just doesn't make any sense. But
Who did write spherical geometry?
I don't know. They invented it 1900s or something, didn't he? Definitely wasn't Euclid. It's a non-Euclidean geometry, so why would Euclid write it? But you know, that sort of thing, that's what I mean. Like it's just people injecting stuff that isn't true into an argument. Like level is curved. Straight lines curve.
That was the first thing I thought of, that book where it says, that surveying book that somebody brought up that said level is curved. That's what
How
that
does a straight line
made me
curve?
think of straight away.
National
You tell me and we'll
Geographic
go
wrote
for it.
a book called When Straight Lines Become Curves. In fact, the Flat Earth uses it as part of his main argument.
Well, I mean, that's fine. When a straight line becomes curved, well, you
Listen,
bend it.
I was looking for something along these lines once on YouTube, and I came across this this adult male teaching fifth graders, how to graph XY coordinates and whatnot. And he was talking about the slope that was on the overhead. And he said, he was talking about infinity. That's what it was. I was looking up infinity. So he was talking about infinity. And he was telling the fifth graders, he was breaking down the concept of infinity, and he correlated it to a slope on a graph, saying that, okay, you see this slope? It's curved, right? Well, if we get close enough to it, at some point, it has a straight line. Okay? So he's telling this to fifth graders. Now, I'm already a skeptical adult, and I can see through what he's doing, but these are fifth graders. These are like 11-year-olds. And do you know what he does not do? He does not ask them to restate what he taught them. He just simply says over and over and over again, you know what I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
You understand exactly what I'm saying, don't you? He didn't let them respond. He told them after he gave them a bullshit philosophical argument about how a curved line can be straight, mathematical, and then he just said to them, you know what I'm telling you is true. It was absolutely disgusting, and I lit up the comment section. But
I can point out just how stupid of an argument this is. If you are standing in front of a house, okay, and you point to the door and you say, "This is a door," well, we can agree that that's a door, right? But then you point to the door and you say, "That's also a house." Well, no, it's not. That's a door. Okay, that is just a door. That's all it is, and you can't take that and expand that to being the whole house, right? And just because you
Like
change
they
the
do with the
situation,
point.
basically, whenever you're talking about the lines, what they're doing is they're not actually they're changing the situation. They're saying if you just take a subset of the information, the part that looks straight, well, then it's straight. But then if we add information like the third dimension and show that it's curving around a ball, well, now it's a straight line that's curved. Well, no, it's not. It's curved. It was always curved. It's always been curved. It's just you withheld information about what it was to begin with in an attempt to trick somebody. That's what they're doing, is attempting to trick. They get you to say it's straight before they give you all of the information. If they had all the information to begin with, you would say, no, that's not a straight line. It's curved, clearly. But they start off in the second dimension, 2 dimensions, get you to say it's straight, and then they add that third dimension, and it's like, oh, it was curved all along. See, you agree it's a curved straight line. Well, no, I didn't. You added a dimension.
Well, that's a great point. That was a great point. But think about this too, though.
That is a great point.
If you were in a classroom, and this always got me in trouble when I was teaching, because I would engage my students and I would get off and get behind my my lesson plans. But if you then engaged those students into critical thinking, they could unpack what the teacher just illogically presented to them. They're smart enough to do that. But he didn't do that. He didn't allow them to apply their critical thinking skills. He told them, even though that there were probably some of them going, wait a minute, what he's saying doesn't make any sense. He then says, as
yeah, well,
an
did
adult,
you think that once or twice at school? Didn't you think, to yourself, what the fuck are they on about?
Sure. Yeah.
So I'm sure every
So,
kid does.
Yeah, but let alone the fact that I don't want to look stupid in front of my peers. When a teacher says to you in the whole, to the whole classroom, you collectively understand what I'm saying. Well, if I don't, I'm not going to then raise my hand and say, no, I don't understand what you're saying because it doesn't make any sense. That's the whole point of the pressure that you get put under in those educational situations.
Did my house example make sense to you guys? That
Yeah,
you don't get to get someone to agree that it's a door, then show them the rest of the house, and then say, "See, you agree that it's a house." All they agreed on was just the limited information you gave them that there's a door right there. That's not them agreeing that that the door is a house.
Yeah, it's all snake oil. It's all bait and switch. It's a tactic.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's a bait and switch. It's a trick.
All right, good stuff. Good discussion. Okay, number 20, false evidence. Whenever possible, introduce new facts or clues designed and manufactured to conflict with opponent presentations as useful tools to neutralize sensitive issues or impede resolution. I think, is that the one I just read? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Call a grand jury, special prosecutor, or other empowered investigative body. I don't know that applies too much to what we're talking about, but I'll just read the second sentence. Subvert the process to your benefit and effectively neutralize all sensitive issues without open discussion. Once convened, the evidence and testimony are required to be secret when properly handled. So this is like something they did with after the JFK assassination, or that they'll get an investigation and then get in front of Congress and, a secret session, we looked at it and no charges. That's more of at a government level, I think. I can't think of how that would apply to what we're doing or anything we'd be involved in. 22, manufacture a new truth. Create your own experts, groups, authors, leaders, or influence existing ones willing to forge new ground via scientific, investigative, or social research or testimony which concludes favorably. In this way, if you must actually address issues, you can do so authoritatively.
Now, do you think that their misuse of the word scientific there is on purpose, or that the person writing this doesn't understand that that's impossible?
Well, I think what they're saying here is, manufacture your new truth, and you can do that and present it scientifically.
Yeah.
Right, present it as if it is scientific, but if it's something that is concluding favorably, that's not science, that's not objective, right? So it can't be actual science. It's, science with a big S, or alleged science, pseudoscience, whatever you want to call it. And I'm wondering if the person writing this thinks that you can actually manipulate real science like that, or if they understand that you can't, and they don't even deal with that issue because it's understood that obviously that's not real science. We're talking about science that you talk to other people about. I'm wondering.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking they mean you manufacture some new evidence, like zenith angles or Soundly's bridge.
What about what Hellfire did the other day? He brought us a triangle with 183 degrees, like that.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
The triangle that wasn't a triangle.
Yeah. Just hand it to you as though I'm an expert. So
that's what he was doing, by the way, what we were just talking about, where they get you to agree to a thing in 2D, and then they add the third dimension and act like you agreed with it all along. That's exactly what he was doing. He was trying to get you to agree that it was a triangle in 2D, and then he added the third dimension in an attempt to get you to agree that the third dimension version was a triangle. But you can't have a triangle in 3D. It's not possible. A triangle is only 2D.
Yeah, he said they were straight line triangles. I got him to confirm that at the beginning. You can't then turn it into a 3D. In his mind, he was probably curving it. But
yeah, in his mind, that's what he was doing. That's exactly what he was doing.
They say, take a piece of pizza like off of the earth, and it's a triangle. You'll do the 3 turns or whatever, and you'll come back to where you were, and it's a piece of pizza, and it's a triangle. No, it's not actually a triangle. What you're describing, okay? You're describing a 3D travel that, when looked at in 2D, will look like a triangle, but you have to include the third dimension there, and that means it literally can't be a triangle.
Well, just spherical axis. All right, you take off from the North Pole due south, get to the equator, turn 90 degrees east. You go another or whatever, however far, and make another 90-degree turn due north. You'll end up where you started, and you'll have a triangle.
Yeah.
No, you won't.
No.
If you are on a spherical Earth, you will not have a triangle. It's not possible. What you'll have is 3 lines that are humped, and you're not seeing the hump from above because you're looking at it in a 2D perspective from above. But if you looked at the actual lines, those lines would be curved lines, and therefore it's not a triangle.
Yeah, that's spherical geometry. There are triangles in spherical geometry.
All right. We
There's no
get the
such
argument.
thing as a triangle in 3D space.
So that's a great example, the spherical excess. But I think this number 22 is essentially the entire basis of modern physics from at least Newton onward. Manufacturing a new truth. I think that's exactly what has been done. And I think 2 great examples are Foucault's pendulum and what's the guy that played with his balls in the shed?
Cavendish,
where they set out to create a new truth and called it scientific evidence.
Yeah, conjuring.
Yep.
That truth is small T truth, not big T truth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good
This.
one. Oh, go ahead.
This goes, just real quick. This just goes back to the point that I made earlier with Howard about presenting an idea that is just simply inductive. So when we're talking about Cavendish or Foucault, in my opinion, the question, which came first, the observation or the idea? If you have an idea that precedes your experiment or your contrived attempt to prove your idea, if you start with the idea, it's false from the get-go. Okay, so then that goes back to the question, was Foucault an observation that someone witnessed and said, hey, look, this pendulum is deviating. Huh. I wonder why that's happening. Or, okay, so we say that the Earth is spinning. Okay, now what can we think of that would prove that? Howard, can
you reckon that might have been why they made the story for the apple falling on Newton's head?
Exactly.
They needed to have a phenomenon before.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And I've never heard anyone say this, so if anyone has said it, I'm open to correction. But my theory is the whole story of the apple falling from the tree and hitting him on the head was not, because I've seen this question before. Well, didn't they know why things fell before? Yeah, they knew. But the problem now with the Newtonian issue was you've got a spherical planet spinning. So the question now isn't why do things fall to the ground? The question is, when the apple leaves the tree, why doesn't it fly off into space? because that's what we know happens on a spinning, moving surface.
Correct.
But because that doesn't happen, again, this is my whole point. So I go back to my question, Howard. Howard, you don't have to answer the question now, but just let it be there. Which came first, Howard, with Foucault? Was it the observation that the pendulum deviated and then they figured out why? And I would like to see the data on that. Or did they think, we say the Earth is spinning. What can we come up with that would prove that?
Yeah, that would be the question of a
That
curious,
question.
intelligent person to figure that out.
You got some smarts, Howard. We know you do.
No, that's not the question of a curious, intelligent person. That's the question of somebody who is looking to trick other people. The curious, intelligent person says, "What do I observe? Oh, that's interesting." They don't set out to prove something they can't observe. They set out to show other people things that they can observe.
Well, maybe he was obsessed with this, and maybe he wanted to figure out some way. How can I show the Earth is rotating? And he came up with the pendulum. I don't,
Right. What I'm saying is he's a bad person because he dedicated himself. If that's the case, if he was really obsessed with it, then what he's done is he's dedicated himself to showing people or proving something to other people that he literally cannot observe himself. He can't observe it. So he's got to come up with
makes up a trick.
Unquote, proof.
He makes up a trick.
It is a trick.
So he's a bad person for dedicating himself to something he never observed beforehand.
I strongly disagree with that. I've got just a different perspective on that.
Yeah.
Motors and magnets.
It's a discovery.
No. Hold on.
Not a
Hold
discovery
on, Bev.
if he was looking for it.
Yeah. Again, let's go. Howard, let's go back. That goes back
It literally
exactly.
can't be a discovery.
Right, Howard. That goes back precisely to my question. Because my question was it first observed that the pendulum deviated? That would be a discovery, right? Okay, so Bev is out there with his plumb bob, okay? He doesn't swing his plumb bob. He doesn't use it as a pendulum. He just uses it to establish a vertical.
Goes vertical, yeah. If it swung about, he wouldn't be able to use it as a vertical.
Right. Okay, great. So great. So, Howard, who in their right mind said, "Hey, let's swing this thing. Let's swing this thing back and forth." Yeah, okay. Why is that so exciting, Travis? All it's going to do is stay on the same plane. It's just going to stay on the same line. Swing. Wait. An hour later, it's 15 degrees different. Huh. Okay, listen. That's what my question to you originally was. Was that a discovery? And I think that you should be able at this point to say, no, it's not. It wasn't a discovery. They contrived a trick to prove a point that they had no empirical data for.
They needed a result, and they came up with an experiment that gave them the exact result they needed. That's not discovery. That's manufacturing the results that you need.
Yeah, exactly. Manufacture a new truth.
I would just say he figured out a way to illustrate something, and he was successful.
He didn't figure out how to illustrate the thing that he claims. He figured out how to illustrate something happening and then claimed that it meant something else.
Sorry, I'm in a rest area looking for a spot to get for just a minute.
Not to mention, Foucault isn't it? It's not an experiment.
Right. That's because there's no observable phenomenon that preceded the whole setup. That's right.
Same with Cavendish.
Who in their right mind would swing a plumb bob back and forth?
I don't know.
For any particular reason. Because we all know, God knows, if you leave a plumb bob dangling, it doesn't show any deviation. But when you move it, all of a sudden, when you move it, well, then it does.
Well, think about what led to the Cavendish experiment. You know.
Yeah. Tell us. Why don't you break that down for us? What was the first observed phenomenon?
See, I have no idea. I just Cavendish is a eccentric individual from what I've read, what little I've read about him, and a brilliant mind is what I recognize. And two, also, I think about these individuals that are responsible for these individual discoveries. Like, I wonder what relativity would look like on paper, the way we understand it, if not for Einstein. That's something to think about.
It's Howard. Listen to yourself. You are wanting unicorns to be true. What you just said was,
and I want them to poop Skittles too.
yeah, and you're looking for the best explanation out there. It's incredible to me. It's incredible.
Don't forget, Howard, you can be smart, like book smart, and be completely insane. Like smart, knowing, book smarts doesn't. Yeah, there's lots of smart people who are in insane asylums,
Well, Scientologists have in book after book after book, and what they would call evidence to back up their view of the world. All religions do. And they probably consider it science, too, that it's concrete fact. So this is not surprising that we'd have the same within heliocentrism.
Can I ask, does anybody know, because I don't, when that Foucault guy, when did he invent this pendulum? When did it happen? Is it a long time ago or not that long ago?
At the risk of misspelling it, I'll look it up.
Yeah, I sorry, Brandon, I'm just driving, so I can't touch my phone.
1753.
There we go.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
No, don't. I was just.
Oh, you were
1851.
When?
1851.
Wow, that's about the sort of time they needed it with the spherical geometry and all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and that's all the time when they were doing the World's Fairs and stuff. There was heaps of shit going on in the mid-1800s.
How does he get a pendulum to swing for hours and hours back then without any mechanical motivation or?
He did. He had a motor, and there's magnets in it as well. They all have, even to this day.
But break that whole construct down, right? Because it has to be
integrity.
It has to be a certain height, right? It has to be a certain mass, a certain volume.
Oh yeah, there's all sorts of it's a
contrived. Howard, listen, this thing had to be contrived.
But can I bring everybody's attention to the general chat, because this is where it comes into reality. Because Fight the Flat Earth says he's taught his children to calculate their position on Earth exactly using nothing but a swinging pendulum. Now, this is where this sort of trick with Foucault goes into the minds of people that think that they can actually do something with this. And then Fight the Flat Earth says on Twitter, when he had this account before he got banned on this account for hate speech, when he said that, he says he's taught that to his kids. Now his kids are young, so what he's saying is that he can calculate your position on Earth with a swinging pendulum.
You can. Are you guys saying you can't? You 100% can.
Can you, heck? Don't be stupid.
Yes, you can. You can. It's.
You can calculate your position on Earth with a pendulum.
Not exact position, but your latitude. What's up, everyone?
What's up, Tony?
Hey, how you doing? I just want to come in here. I was going to come in here and say, "Hey, dumbasses," and get number 12 on the list, but I decided not.
So if this is possible, then let's say I have the pendulum and it's swinging. What is the thing I need to look for to determine where I'm at on Earth?
Yeah,
you're going to look for, from what I know about it, is you're going to look for the deviation. You know, when it'll start making a figure 8, and if you have paint on the ground or whatever, you'll see that
it'll stop swinging. When you see swings,
Okay,
like tree swings, they're not swinging around.
Let's say it's making a figure eight. What does that mean?
Well, it's how big the angle of the triangle is, or just whatever the angle is on both sides.
The triangle.
It starts at the beginning.
Jesus.
That has something to do with it. I know that. It's like
Okay,
the time.
well, you came in here saying you absolutely can. I don't know if you know what the word absolute means, but that means that there's no room for error or question or some other explanation. You're saying absolutely can, and now you're saying you don't know how it works. You don't understand it completely. You think it has to do with this thing.
Did I say I don't understand it completely?
You came in here hot defending
the
flat Earth.
Except for the people that have learned that.
Being here, Tony.
No, wait.
If you absolutely can do it, then you should know how to do it because you know it's
I'm going to go to the
absolute.
people that have learned about it or read about it because it's there. I could get you something that talks all about it if you want me to.
Oh, great! You can get someone to lie to
Okay,
you about something.
so let's start out. Okay, so listen. Okay, so now he's come in. Okay, so now he's come in. Can you tell us whether or not this was an observed phenomenon where the deviation was discovered and then it was they attempted to try to figure out what the deviation was caused by, or did they?
I could not
think...
even come close to telling you what the thought was in their head when they were.
Okay, so the question becomes:
I'm not psychic.
No. It's got nothing to do with being psychic. Okay, it might have to be. It might have to do with.
No, you wanted me to tell you what two guys were thinking, or what one guy was thinking at that time. I don't know.
Okay, listen. This is a scientific. This is a scientific.
Yes, I know.
Endeavor. Okay, so there should be records as to all of their. Okay. Hold on now. Listen to what you're not saying now. Okay.
Just let me go get it, okay? Because I'm not going to sit here and listen to you repeat my question back.
I might be able to make this a little bit easier.
I'll just go get the evidence, come back, okay, guys?
Well,
guys,
I might be able to make it easier than what he's doing. What does the pendulum deviating? What does that show?
It's teachable to an 11-year-old child, this thing. He came in defending what Fight the Flat Earth saying it can definitely be done. What you're doing. So, like, you can definitely teach an 11-year-old child to do this, but now he's going off trying to find the information.
I'm pretty sure he used the word absolutely.
He did, yeah.
And if he says absolutely, then he should know exactly how it works and how to do it because he's claiming it's absolute. As in there's no question, there's no deviation, there's nothing else outside of it. It is absolute.
You can position yourself on Earth.
And if you don't understand how to do it, your claim of absolute is just stupidity. You're claiming it out of ignorance.
But we're not allowed to teach our children that level is a horizontal plane.
Yeah.
We're not allowed to teach our children that, but he can teach his 11-year-old.
But he can teach his kids witchcraft, basically.
Wow.
All right. Well, we'll see if Tony comes back with that. That's obviously a really good example. And I think the same applies to Cavendish because he set out, he took all of Newton's universal law of gravitation as an input. He already assumed mass attracted mass, and he set out to try to measure the weight of the Earth, which is a ridiculous thing to do. Just in case anybody out there thinks that's not ridiculous, to say you weighed the Earth with a couple of lead balls in your shed is borderline retarded. I'm sorry.
All right.
But don't you know you can measure the Earth
I thought it was
pick?
to get it, but I haven't.
Don't you know that?
Where do I put it? Where do you want me to put this, Brandon?
Put it in general chat, Tony.
What is it?
Interrupted. Okay, cool.
All right, we'll check it out. What you got? Okay, so yeah, I looked up myself what the origin of Foucault's pendulum was, and I can't find the story of how he came up with it. But let's see what Tony's got here.
If someone wants to look that up, or I couldn't screen share or whatever it's called, but
I should be showing it.
I just put it in general, and if someone wants to put it up and then read into it, go for it. I'm going to
It
try
does
right now.
say
I'm kinda doing
it's
a
an
lot of it
invention.
now.
He invented it.
Okay, you guys
Invented what?
should see it now. Oh, hold on. Yeah, it says an invention. Yeah.
Oh, I'm too high to read it, so I hope no one thinks I'm going to read it.
So a GPS. I gotta accept some cookies here. Come on. A GPS hidden in Foucault's pendulum.
Okay, I want to point this out. Okay, and this is exactly what I figured it probably would be. All right, a GPS is hidden in Foucault's pendulum. If you read through this, what you'll see, and you might have to look a little bit harder than just at the surface because it'll take some brain power for you to actually translate this. But what
Wait. Are you seriously going to dissect this before you even read it?
No, I'm not going to dissect it. I'm going to point out what it is because you can see what it is. It's a key.
So you're going to
what they say is that you already have certain pieces of information and you look at certain tools, and what you actually do is you reference a key to find out what that information is supposed to mean, which would be, in this case, your position on Earth. This is not someone taking just a pendulum and figuring out their place on Earth. This is them taking a pendulum and then taking their information and comparing it to a key to find out what it's supposed to mean.
Why are you muddying this whole argument up? I just put the
I'm not
evidence
muddying
in,
the
and you're
argument.
going to try and
I'm explaining
debunk
what
it
that
before you even
article
read it?
actually is
Kind of
describing
ridiculous.
instead of your stupid claim.
Dude, you haven't even read it. What are you talking about?
I
That's
read
ignorant.
enough of it
Everyone
to know
else can
exactly
think that's
what it
ignorant
is.
too, hopefully.
Yeah, you can very clearly
they don't
and
think this
quickly
is
I don't need to know any more than that.
Well,
I don't need to know any more than that it's got a key, and that's your reference to the key. It's like any key on the side of any, like a treasure map or whatever, anything. You have a key, and you...
this piece of information, and then this other piece of information that you already know. Oh, well, wait a minute. You said just the pendulum by itself can take... Oh, no, it can't, according to that. You need a key. You need the key to tell you what the information is supposed to mean on the Earth that they've decided you're on.
Tell me a key that has not worked. What else? Sometimes you need something to
that's not the
decipher
point.
things.
Of course they work. There's a key. They open it.
Exactly.
There's a key.
By itself can tell you where you're at on Earth. No, it cannot. That's bull crap. If you need a key, that's not the pendulum by itself. End of story.
Wait, so you're saying for evidence you have to have just one thing? You can't have one thing corroborated by something else?
I'm saying for
using
someone
something
who
else to
claims
make
it's
that
just
one thing
you
true?
have to have just one thing. If that's the claim, then that's the claim.
Why? That's
their
the dumbest
problem.
rule I've
They
ever
shouldn't claim
heard.
it if it's not true.
Tell me one thing that's ever been invented that only had one thing. Tell me.
Why? My kids can calculate their position on
why?
Earth exactly using nothing but a swinging pendulum. They're claiming one thing and
Why
nothing else.
wouldn't
That's
you
their
use
problem.
information to help assist your answer in that pendulum
No,
swinging?
no.
Like maybe a
Using
ruler?
nothing but a
Maybe
swinging
a ruler,
pendulum.
maybe
That's
a
what
math.
that means. That's what
Claim that
nothing
you're
but
only
means.
using
That
the
means only.
Hey,
That's
Brandon,
their
do
claim,
you
not mine.
Yeah,
They
honestly
say
think like what they're
nothing
doing
but
is cool because I think it's kind of
pendulum.
stupid.
Well, Tony,
And I don't
so,
even
so
know
you,
what
you
side
brought
to
this
do. I'm
argument.
just bringing evidence, and you guys are debunking
Hold-
evidence
hold
without
on.
anyone even read
That
it.
is really stupid.
Hold
That's
on, Bob.
dumb.
Let's hear what he has to say. So you brought this article in. What is it that you think this information we can glean from this article? Tony, you still there? Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
I can hear you just fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm back.
All right.
I hear you.
Well, we'll go back to the paper, and if Tony comes back, he can tell us.
I'm right here. No, I'm right here. You guys didn't hear me?
No,
Damn
no,
it, I
no,
just
no.
had
You must have been in mute or something.
I hear you, Tony.
Damn it. I just had like a good shit. I can't remember what I just said. Anyways, you debunked it before anyone even got a chance to read it. Okay, so I don't know what's in it. Let's look into it.
Oh, you don't know what's in this article?
Okay, but here's my.
No, I thought we'd read it
I got
together.
a problem with that.
Because I already told you I didn't know really, but I know I heard that there's a way of doing it. So this is the way they say they're doing it.
So you came in and said it's
So you don't
absolute,
have
but
to
didn't know how to
defend
do it.
them.
I'm
If
not
you
defending
just
them.
want to look through some information with us, that's great. That's what
That's
we're
what
here
I was
for.
trying to
That's
do,
awesome.
and you and
Yeah.
You came
that's
in
all
and said
right.
it's
So-
Anthony or
absolute.
whatever.
You said it's absolute.
That's right.
If you
So
say it's
we're trying to
absolute, then you need to know
don't
how
feel
it
like
works.
you have to defend their ideas.
I'm
you
not
can learn
defending
with us.
it.
Well, don't.
That's
then
what I was
don't
doing.
get
Are you
upset.
serious? Wait, stop.
Really?
Please stop. Can I say something?
Saying they absolutely
Please.
can do it isn't defending them?
Am I
That's not
muted?
defending them?
No. We can hear you, Tony.
Am I muted?
Hey, listen, guys.
Okay, I'm just wondering why I can't talk.
Yeah,
there's no mention of a motor in that one that you've put. It just says a freely suspended. Well, that had just stopped.
Because the motor is for the ones that are for public, like in museums. Why would you have a motor in if you're just?
Well, how would you get one to keep going for 36 hours?
Have a
like,
really
like
long
he claims.
swing.
Yeah, the one that's on one of the museums, the way they keep it going, there's a magnet.
It's not a motor. You're right. It's not a motor. It's a ring magnet at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a collar gimbal, and not attached to the pendulum, not the the wire, but to the gimbal itself, and it's timed. And each time it's approaching a switch or a sensor, it turns the magnet on and gives it a little kick. On each
Which the original one didn't have. So if that didn't have it, how do you get 36 hours worth of rotation? How do you do that?
You don't need to get 36 hours from what I mean, just think about it logically.
That's what it says. If you read it,
dude, I'm talking, man.
You were the one.
I'm saying I'm going out of the paper right now. Logically, I'm thinking I could still do it.
Absolutely,
take like an hour, but the arc would be smaller, and you wouldn't be quite as accurate on the Earth of where you're at. The more it swings, the more accurate you'd get. That's just logically what I'm thinking. Right?
I just want to know the difference between Foucault's pendulum and a regular pendulum.
The motor, but this one
regular
supposedly
pendulums are
doesn't have
fixed.
it. So
Yeah, because we're talking about the one that goes for the length of time that they say it goes for. It doesn't. Yes, you might be right that you could have it go for less or whatever. Yeah, okay, sure. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the specific one that goes for 36 hours or whatever.
Do you get deviation in all pendulums or only Foucault's?
Foucault is just the name of the person that made this idea or had this idea.
But that wasn't the question. Okay, but that's great. Hold on. That's a great thing that's great. That's not what I asked. I asked a very specific question. Do you get?
I know, and I answered it.
Oh no, you didn't. No, you didn't. So
yes, I did. You just don't like the answer or don't understand the answer.
Okay.
Probably.
Well, there we go. So first he interrupted me. So he's going to say that all pendulum. Or so can I assume that you said all pendulums will deviate?
No, because the ones that are on the equator wouldn't. I don't think they would. I'm just thinking they probably don't on the equator, and they probably don't, or they do it more on the poles. They're going to be different.
I don't need the pole.
You're just saying interrupting, and you interrupted.
Have you not even read the article you just give us?
No, he hasn't read it, guys. Hey, listen. We're going down this. We're going way down this road, and it's almost time to end the show. But listen, can we save this article? And we'll talk about this Foucault thing
definitely
in detail sometime this week. Tony, maybe you can rejoin us and talk about it. That'll give us a chance to read it.
I get a
too.
little heated, or not heated, just like excited.
No, it's cool. We all get excited.
The article says that it's a type of pendulum, so it's not just a name according to the article. It's describing a type of pendulum.
All right,
so that's why we need to get to the bottom of, is this a special type of pendulum? Can I do this with any pendulum? Because if you can't do it with any pendulum, then it becomes unique to that pendulum. Then it's not unique to the Earth's effect on it. Because then it would affect all pendulums.
Cool. Let's talk about that next time. Then.
All right, yeah, let's go to the next. I'm gonna
look into it, and I'm gonna find some evidence that's gonna beat you guys, I swear.
All right,
I'm gonna be so happy when it goes, but not in a bad way. It's just like, hey guys, hey, look what I found. Like, because I love you guys. You guys are all cool.
Well,
I just like bringing stuff to win.
Oh yeah, bring it, man.
And plus, it makes a good show too, right?
Absolutely.
Well, if you like to win, you're on the wrong team.
Oh, I lose a lot, so it doesn't matter.
Listen, you guys are.
What happened? He started.
You guys.
I was going to say, what happened? I'm like on the edge of my seat.
Someone just knock him out? Do we need to call the police?
Listen.
Travis?
That's a crazy place for it to actually cut out, though, because this is right at the climax where the next word was going to be the answer we wanted.
All right, he must be having audio problems. We can't hear you, Travis.
You can't hear me?
Now we can.
Now we can. No, there. And
Now we
it's
can't.
gone again.
All right, I'm going to read the next one. 23. Create bigger distractions. If the above does not seem to be working to distract from sensitive issues or to prevent unwanted media coverage of unstoppable events such as trials, create bigger news stories to distract the multitudes.
The election was fraudulent. Come on, right? Yeah, the coronavirus is like petering out. People are like, oh, what's going on with these lockdowns? Just like, oh, election fraud. They do that sort of. That's like
just news in general, really. Just any propaganda news from the 6 stations.
Well, I don't think it's even necessarily just news. Like, it's politicians in general. This sounds like it's directly like usable or directed at a politician. If there's something getting news that you don't want to get news, start bringing up stuff that doesn't matter and make it matter more than the thing that you don't want to have news.
Yeah, like Trump's 3 scoops of ice cream. Remember that one? He had 2 scoops.
Yeah, that was crazy.
2 scoops. 2 scoops.
People are wondering, what was the flavors? Wow, who gives a fuck what the flavor is?
Yeah, they do that
Right,
shit all the time.
that sounds like directly like for a politician is if something's getting more media attention than you want it to, go pick things. And it doesn't matter if these things are important or not. You make them important.
Yes, and then the next week you see all the other politicians are eating ice cream. Well, look at my ice cream cone; it's got 4 on it.
Yep, absolutely. They do that all the time. Silence critics.
Now
If
I
the
want ice
above
cream.
methods do not prevail, consider removing opponents from circulation by some definitive solution so that the need to address issues is removed entirely. This can be by their death, arrest and detention, blackmail, or destruction of their character by release of blackmail information, or merely by destroying them financially, emotionally, or severely damaging their health. Jeez.
That's a big one.
I mean, that's what. Yeah,
That one's
that's what
hardcore.
silencing a critic would involve, possibly. Yeah.
Wow.
Each of those things seems like a certain method.
It sounded like murder, but okay.
That's pretty hardcore there.
Well, I mean, what else is murder than severely damaging someone's health?
Yeah, very damaged.
You're gonna take a surprise
murdered
nap.
anyone?
It's gonna last
What
a long
Glover's murdered
time.
a flat earther?
No, I
Like
don't
Colin
think.
Brian
Probably is someone.
I don't think this
There's probably
applies to
someone
us,
out there.
but yeah, Brian Mullins was possibly silenced in some way. I don't know. I don't know what the story is behind that.
Oh, he was just. You know what? I don't even know. Never mind.
I don't know either. Maybe he just got.
I'm not gonna say it.
I don't know exactly what happened. I know the story we've all heard.
But you notice that Tony was about to say something, and then what the hell? You know what actually happened?
about
Well,
to, but
I
then-
actually don't know.
But I know, but I do know what's going to happen. You're going to sit here and then reverse it on me and ask, repeat the answer or the question.
Yeah,
I asked,
which
and then we'll
which
go down this
violation
rabbit
number is that? Which violation number is that? So I for some reason I
13.
dropped and couldn't get back in time. But I want to point out that the reason why Tony went and got that document was because I asked what the precipitating event was that brought about the Foucault pendulum in the beginning. Was it an observed phenomenon? Hold on. Right?
No,
My
you're
question.
wrong, though. That's not what I was thinking. I was thinking, hey, I want to get on here and I want to bring something that's going to be controversial, so there can be an arguing and the show will be fun.
Okay.
Because I've been
It just-
listening to the show and I want it more fun.
Okay, yeah. It just so happened that I posed a question to you, and you said,
Yes, and I answered the question with something that had some meat to it, so we could all argue. Yes, wow, you're going to dissect every single question or thing I do.
I will when what you're saying makes absolutely no sense. So anyway, I just wanted to
Maybe
bring
you
that
don't
around.
understand what I'm saying. Maybe that's the thing. You
Pretty
don't understand
sure
what I'm saying.
I
That's
do
possibly it.
understand what your high ass
No,
is
you
saying.
don't.
Pretty sure.
Asking for the origin of the pendulum.
Hey, if you would just
I think
stop
I got
trying to use
bingo.
like the biggest words in each like word that you use in the sentence. You
What
might get the sentence out
word? What
more
word, Tony,
properly.
was too big for your little brain? What word did I just
it's
use?
you, man. Everyone knows that you have to go a little above and beyond when it comes
What
to reading things.
word? Which word did I just use that was too big for you, Tony?
I didn't say it was too big. Hey, I did not say it was too big.
Okay, why don't you get
do that?
sober?
You kinda
Go
like
get
flip
sober,
people with
bro.
What they say, you always do that, bro. Would you stop interrupting me, man? Seriously, I'm trying to talk and you're just like, and you're trying to cut me
Hey,
off.
that's
right when
not
I'm
how
getting my
I
punchline
sound.
that's
I
gonna
don't
beat
sound
you.
like that, do I? Please
Yes,
tell me I'm
Nah,
saying
you
that.
don't sound like that,
hook.
Travis.
Thanks,
As for
Pat.
the
Thank you.
origin of the pendulum.
Does no one understand what I'm saying?
No,
Like,
we
is what I'm saying really sound
You've
stupid right now to
barely
everyone?
taken
Yes,
a
because-
breath for anybody
Yeah.
to even answer you,
Bro,
Tony.
He asked for the
Really?
origin of the pendulum, and you gave him a GPS in the pendulum. You've already established the pendulum. He wanted to know where this whole idea of the pendulum proving Earth came from, not that you could put a GPS in it. So you didn't address his claim at all. And then you're wondering why he's saying you didn't address it.
Wait, are you saying that they put a GPS in it? Are you thinking they did? Is that what you're saying?
Oh my! This is a tactic.
This is classic.
This is a classic tactic.
I hope
This
not.
is
I hope I'm just
classic.
high and you're not thinking that.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, this is a total. You're on a high right now. You
Yeah,
can't
you've
even.
got some
tips from
You can't
us
even
reading
follow
out
the
those
conversation.
things.
I can follow the conversation. I seriously, am I in like crazy land or something? Are you really? No one else is following what's going on here.
You came in hot, Tony, defending
You're
fucking the flat Earth.
in crazy land.
I'm not
Your
defending
brain
nothing. I already
is
told you why I
crazy
came in
land.
here. Now you guys are going to listen to him and the way what he thinks is the reason I came in here, and you're going to believe him. I'm telling you, that's not why I came in here. I came in here to bring some evidence so we can
We
argue
don't
about
care.
it. That's it.
It's all right.
Bro,
I just talk when I'm excited. I talk like this. I don't mean anything to anyone.
He wanted evidence of the origin of the pendulum, not the pendulum established already. This was the whole idea of, did you establish the pendulum first, or did you come up with the idea and then try and make something that fits the idea? Now, you don't like this because, of course, you're going to make something that fits your idea, just like Matt. Oh, you're interrupting. Interrupting.
So you did too, so who gives a shit?
So, okay, so if I kill, you can kill.
Yeah.
Oh,
Why not?
Yeah, you're in. Yeah, this and yeah. So I rape your mother, so you should rape your mom.
Otherwise, you're
a
just
fucking
killing
idiot.
everyone. So I might as well kill you
Yeah, okay,
before
I
I
rape
kill
your
someone
mom.
else.
So I rape your mom. I rape your mom. So you're gonna rape your mom.
It's going to dark places.
Come on, this is the logic.
Yeah, please, because they're. I mean,
Yeah,
no one else.
but
sees it.
actually,
Never mind, go.
Dark Places was a really good book.
I haven't read it.
I'm just saying.
It's really
I'm trying
good.
to say that because somebody does something, you're then going to do it. You are an immoral person because that means you will do anything anybody does.
Seriously,
So,
but you
thank
did it
Tony.
first.
Well,
That doesn't
bro,
mean
if I
nobody else's
if I
actions
raped your
can
mother
justify your
first,
actions. That's not how it
if
works.
I
It's
raped
not
your
how
mother first,
morality.
does that
Wow, you
open the
guys are
door?
All right, guys. I am going to go back and record that and post it as an after show sometime this week. We're going to skip final thoughts since it's already after 8 o'clock. The last one, number 25, was Vanish. If you are a key holder of secrets or otherwise overly illuminated and you think the heat is getting too hot, to avoid the issues, vacate the kitchen. Not sure that applies to Flat Earth, but I could see it in a bigger context. So anyway, thank you for being here tonight. Not sure what we'll be talking about tomorrow. Got a lot of stuff on the old running agenda here, so who knows. Sometime this week, hopefully, we'll talk about the pendulum in more detail. I think that'll be interesting. It's not too. We haven't gone over that in a while. And I don't remember if we've ever talked about it in detail on Ranty's channel. So that'll be cool. Let's see what else is going on this week. I think that's about it. I'm trying to get some guests up. Oh yeah, Mr. Sensible on Friday. I still haven't gotten a firm commitment from him to go over on his show on Friday, which I would broadcast on this channel as well, to discuss Mage 2 and how he thinks he sees the curve. So that might be interesting. We'll see. Otherwise, you guys have a good night. We'll talk to you later. I'm going to go so we don't miss too much of the after show. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. Thanks for supporting the shows. And have a good night.